Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
The Monday edition. In the immortal words of the legendary Vince Lombardi, what the hell's going on out here? Edition. We don't have to worry about questioning how you're going to get Tucker Kraft more touches because, man, I just feel bad for him. His season is almost certainly over edition. And I can't remember a game where I covered the Packers and they didn't punt and they managed only 13 points. Not great, Bob. Edition of Wilde and Tausch. A 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free, all-customizable ESPN Wisconsin app, which continues to be a fabulous alternative while Spotify still leaves us in limbo. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And ready to spend all 2 hours and 57 remaining minutes talking about new Packers Hall of Fame inductees that'll be joining him in the hall. Tramon Williams and Earl Dotson, because what else would you want to talk about? That way we can talk about real positive things. It is the Packers Hall of Famer himself. It is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. So Tramon and Earl are joining the club.
Big
is that
Earl,
what you just said?
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Wally pipped by you.
That is no. I don't think he got Wally pipped. He got hurt. I don't know if that's how that all shook itself out. So that's great. Tramon, I believe, is probably one of the most underrated. What a great story and what a career that Tramon put together, and fairly certain there'd be about 200 people that would not have Super Bowl rings if it wasn't for Tramon Williams. So kudos, tip the cap to both those guys.
Yes, and he, like you, like a few others, are in the Hall of Fame of great stories when you chronicle their journeys to the successes that they had. Again, his journey should be a movie, too. I still think yours should be, but his should be for sure. Sitting in the stands at a Louisiana Tech game as a freshman engineering major, watching the corners get cooked and saying, well, I can do this. He was not going to play football in college, and then he ended up being one of the top 5 corners in the NFL in the 2010 range. So congratulations.
Yeah, and maybe one of the most iconic, Al Harris's pick against Seattle was obviously a huge play and won us a game. But that play against Atlanta pretty much deuced Matt Ryan and the boys at the Georgia Dome on one of the more raucous Saturday night crowds you'll ever see. So awesome. Kudos. Congrats. Well-deserved. Everything that you would say, I'll make sure to say to Tramon later today.
Now to the game.
Yep.
I was obviously in the process of asking Matt LaFleur questions and Jordan Love. I did not get to hear the always popular Mark Tauscher opening statement on Green Bay game night, which you did not have the opportunity to start early. We both said,
oh, God, no.
To varying degrees, if you are the team that you think you are, this is a take care of business game, and said business was not taken care of. 5 trips to the red zone, 1 touchdown, 2 field goals, a fumble, and a 4th and 8 completely blank-showed decision where you wasted a timeout. The play didn't work. Your quarterback ran around like a chicken with his head cut off, and then almost threw a 103-yard interception return for a touchdown had Mike Jackson not dropped it. Does that pretty much sum things up for you?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary. It was, all week I think everybody in the media world was talking trap game, and I understood the thought process on it. I've never been a firm believer, but I think what we always underestimate is the psychology of where players and their fan bases and their staffs are all at. And I think the most underwritten storyline of last week, and I don't want to kid anybody here, and I know everybody here is Packer fans, not Panther fans. The Green Bay Packers didn't execute. This wasn't a case where they came out and they just rolled their hat out and they thought they'd win. I don't believe that is what happened.
I agree.
What I believe happened was, do I think the Panthers had a plan and executed their plan better? Yes. Do I think they had more of an edge coming in because they got throttled by Buffalo at home 40-9 and everybody was telling them how much they sucked all week? And on the flip side, Green Bay is looking at it like we took down the old king of the G&G back for 18 years. Our offense dominated, and we sacked, and we did everything we did against Pittsburgh. And, we got Philly coming up. So was there a little psychological edge that Carolina had? Yes. But Green Bay still was a better, more talented football team. But this tells you again that talent doesn't always win if you don't put it out on display. And I thought the game plan by Matt LaFleur yesterday, where they tried to run the football, and it was, they played it too high, and all this other stuff. You just didn't execute when you needed to. You made poor decisions, and Carolina found a way to play its game that it needed. They needed to muddy and muck up this game, and I thought Greg Olsen is fantastic. Listening to him. Right from the jump, talk about why Carolina took the football, and then it playing out the way it did, where they got the win to make the game-winning kick, genius. The analytics of going for 2, where Matt LaFleur, if he did that, would have given Carolina more freedom to go for it on 4th down. And I thought he laid it out beautifully, and I thought Matt LaFleur got too up in his I need to be aggressive thought process yesterday. There is no reason. Homer had to check me on this because at the 11 minutes left, it's a 7-point game.
Yes.
Kick the blanking field goal. There isn't hindsight. Hindsight if it's 4th and 2. And this is the biggest thing that I took out of yesterday. It felt like to me Matt LaFleur lost confidence either in his kicker or in his team because did anybody think that Green Bay wasn't going to get another possession and stop Carolina, that if they kicked that field goal, they could ugly have won that game 16-13, or what? Yeah, it would have been 16-13. And he played desperate like he was the underdog. 4th and 8? Come on, man. Like that decision with 11 minutes left, if it's 4 minutes, I understand it. So all in all, you had a team that I think we underestimated the edge of what a team is when you get throttled and all of the ramifications of it. And then Green Bay just didn't execute. And the biggest surprise to me was Bryce Young. He looked like he didn't even play yesterday.
How
many times did he get hit? That offensive line was rattled and tattled, and they had guys out. They had a guard going out every other play to start the game. You have Yosh Nijman, who we thought couldn't even play here in G&G.
Yeah.
Played pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And Bryce Young, I don't know if his jersey was dirtied at all. So the great pass rush that we're supposed to have, the offense that's supposed to be that's supposed to be fine and never found it, and that is your formula for how yesterday happened. We should have seen it. I felt like it was going to be a tougher game than what it was.
Sure.
But it turned out to be a lot more difficult because Green Bay handed the Carolina Panthers way too many opportunities to let them play their game, and that's why we're sitting here today with a lot of pissed-off Packer fans.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack here, obviously, and I think the 4th and 8 decision, Matt LaFleur's answer to that question was hindsight is 20/20. It was a bad decision.
No, that's not a hindsighter.
But
that's not a hindsighter.
No, it wasn't. And, us in our ivory tower on the 7th floor, we're all saying, why is he doing this? Kick the field goal. And by the way, even if you've lost confidence in Brandon McManus, which I think there's at least a little bit of that there, you got to have him kick it to figure out if you can still count on him. Then that's an easy one from where they are on the field. So I don't know why he did that, but it was not. To your point, finishing my sentence, that was a bad idea in real time, and we all knew it.
Never,
except for him.
Never made any sense. And by the way,
there's
McManus,
11 minutes left.
Yeah, it wasn't a 48-yard field goal into a gusty wind like they had the extra point on the double pump, triple pump, Dowdle touchdown celebration. This was take the points, move on with your life, because it almost became a game ender. Like if old Jackson, I think Jackson is the safety, right? If he could catch, he's got yards. I mean, he's got to take it past the 50 for sure.
Yeah.
On a really bad decision and a bad throw. And kind of just to go back to, because there's a lot to, like you said, there's a lot to unpack. That decision isn't one of them. I would love for Matt LaFleur just to say, yeah, I screwed up. There's no hindsight of that. I blanked up. Take the blank in points and move on. You played like you were the underdog. That decision let me believe he didn't know if they were going to get the ball back. That's why you do that.
Which is panicky, because 11 minutes left, even if you stink up the joint defensively, you're going to get the ball back. It may not be with as much time as you would like, but my goodness.
Yep. And, Jason, I want to give Matt LaFleur credit because I do think he has worked hard. I crushed him last year for his emotional decision-making. Like he's mad at the refs, so he throws a challenge flag even though he's not going to win. And
Right. Mm-hmm.
I do believe he has gotten better at that. I think he worked at that in the offseason. I haven't seen the same amount of outburst. I haven't seen him tear up in a halftime interview. Like you feel like there's some growth from him. Yesterday, that was not it. And I hope that he just, instead of saying, well, hindsight is 20/20, just say, man, I screwed up. That ain't happening again. I have to understand. 4th and 3 or less, I think the analytics would say, okay, I can understand it. 4th and 8, there's no way any analytical firm, including 565, would say, go for it. Big mistake, and it did end up costing his team yesterday by doing it.
Let's get to the worst news of the day, which was not the outcome. It was Tucker Kraft suffering what is feared to be, and you know as well as I do that they already have a pretty good idea that it is, and they're just waiting for the imaging to confirm it. A torn ACL in his right knee. How devastating is this to this team moving forward? Because for all the discussion about the many, many weapons they have and how do they make Tucker Kraft the centerpiece of the passing game while still getting other people involved, it feels like for a lot of folks reacting to this, they think this is the death blow of their season. And I'm not willing to go that far, but it is bad, no doubt about it.
I would say, and I said this on the postgame show last night, it's not the death blow like all of a sudden now this team's not going to make the playoffs. I do think this, in my eyes, takes them from being one of the top teams, Super Bowl contending. They have a long way to go. He's a captain. He's such a big piece to everything. He is your best playmaker on the perimeter. He is. And that is a tight end. He blocks. He competes. He is he's a heart and soul guy of your football team.
No doubt.
And can Musgrave come in and do some of the things in the receiving game? I think some. He's not going to be the yak guy. He's going to be more of I need to stretch the field and do some stuff. But this was a huge blow. And when I heard it, you get sick to your stomach for him because he's done everything the right way. And now he's obviously in a position where that unfortunately that's not going to be the case. How do you find someone, somebody, go pick up Zach Ertz. That's not going to do it.
David Njoku.
Other guys, Christian Watson and all of these receivers that are wanting to find the football. Now Jaden Reed getting back is even of more importance. But this is a big blow, and I think this changes the expectation game for me just a little bit. I still believe this team should win the division. And if they don't win the division, I definitely don't think this team can go to a Super Bowl without Tucker Kraft. I just don't.
All right, we're going to get to your calls and your positives and negatives. We will do ours expeditiously so we can get to as many calls as possible. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. But before we can do anything else, it's time for Tausch to tell us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Indeed, it does. And when it comes to your home, the smart play is always to trust Gina Della and her great team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And this month, score a whole house of new energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 72 months. That is like a drive you can sustain for years. It'll keep your home comfortable thanks to incredible defense played by Pella Windows, stopping all of those drafts. Don't wait. Woof, woof. Schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com. Got a little zoo going on over there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's some madness going on in the basement today. Just like there was madness at Lambeau Field, the Packers lose as 13.5-point favorites at home without punting to the Carolina Panthers, 16-13. How do you feel? Tell me, how does it feel? There's a lot of people mad at Matt LaFleur today, from what I could gather after the game.
Yes.
Curious to hear what they are specifically angry about.
Hey, Jesse, make sure you got a little AC/DC ready to roll on all these comeback-ins.
Who made
Let's go.
AC/DC is coming to Camp Randall Stadium?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Well, they couldn't get Luke Combs because he's coming to Lambeau Field. AC/DC. I love AC/DC.
Got both of them, yeah.
Can't wait. 844-770-3776. Your calls coming up. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
At Great Midwest Bank, we've been serving Southeast Wisconsin homeowners for 90 years. Wait, 2025 minus 1935, 90 years. Wow. In our 90 years as a community bank, we've learned a lot about the values of the people who live and work here and appreciate the loyal customers that have made Great Midwest Bank who we are today. Find a location at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Is back pain slowing you down? When it comes to spine care, you need specialized expertise. At the OAW Spine Center, their orthopedic care specialists provide the highest level of care for everything from herniated discs to spinal fusion. They start with the most conservative, non-surgical treatments like physical therapy and injections. If surgery is needed, minimally invasive procedures at the OAW Spine Center will get you back on your feet faster. With a focus on treating the source of the problem, they take a comprehensive, active approach to spine health, getting you back to the life you love. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit oawspinecenter.com. That's oawspinecenter.com.
Looking to heat up a career in HVAC?
Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling in Milwaukee is now hiring HVAC installers and service technicians. Family owned and operated, Dick & Trough offers competitive wages, a 401k match, health insurance benefits, and a winning, positive team culture that sets them apart. This is more than a job. It's a chance to grow with a company that truly values its people. Apply now to become their newest team member at dickandtrough.com. Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling. Come see the difference. Apply at dickandtrough.com.
In football, what does every great team start with?
A strong defense. Same's true in business.
Defense against what?
Cyber threats. That's why companies use Trend Micro.
What do they actually protect?
Your network, your data, your people, from ransomware, phishing, and more.
So it's not just antivirus?
Not at all. Trend Micro has a full defensive playbook trusted worldwide for over 35 years.
Sounds like the kind of defense every business needs.
Exactly. Don't get blindsided. Go to trendmicro.com and see how enterprise security is done right.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I got you covered. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. With holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust Accutrans Group to handle all my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or a festive celebration, Accutrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Eight 844-770-3776. Calls are already rolling in. Before we get to the phones, Tausch, let's skip our positives and negatives. I don't even know what the positives are, frankly. But what else stood out to you before we move forward?
For me, I just lean on this defense so much because I believe that that's how this team, and now especially with Tucker being out, that's how this team's going to win. So the fact that I don't know what the final tally on pressures is going to be, but I know this. Bryce Young was not hit like he needed to be yesterday. That was the biggest disconcerting part to me. They ran the football, and I know everybody's going to say, Rico Dowdle he was really good. And, Chubba Hubbard, nothing. Rico looked like we had no answer for him. That was the frustrating part for me. Offensively, Carolina never really stopped us. It felt more to me like we stopped ourselves with a fumble, with a bad pick, with a missed field goal. They moved the football pretty much every time they got it.
They did.
But they made it hard. And what happens, we see this all the time, this is what teams are going to do. They're going to play too high. They're going to say, we're not going to let Christian Watson get over there. And if you want, you make the one great completion. But even with that great completion, it was double covered, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. You are correct.
Christian made a great play on that ball. Then he sees, well, I did it once, I can do it again. Well, no, you shouldn't have. And it bit you in the keister because then you threw into triple coverage and it was like a fair catch interception. So I'm not in the camp of crushing Jordan Love after yesterday's performance. The fans, it feels like everybody is done with Matt LaFleur. I would hasten to say that should be the case, but I understand the frustration that fans have. They just don't feel like he makes the right decisions in the big moments. It feels like he's always on the wrong end of it. And that's everybody's prerogative to say. I still think he is a really good football coach. Is he the right coach in this moment for this team? If he has games like that yesterday, there's going to be obviously there's going to be a lot more question marks. It doesn't matter what any of us think. It matters what Ed Policy thinks. And I'm sure Ed Policy walked out of that stadium and he's reading chat lines and he's getting information. And none of that information coming into Ed today is going to be positive for Matt LaFleur. So you still got a half a season left. You're still positioned fine with Detroit getting beat, which I still don't know how the hell.
Still leading the division, yeah. J.J. McCarthy is awesome.
And you just get the hunch that next week this team is going to be beaten down all throughout the week, and they're going to come out with a razor's edge. And I would bet that they play pretty doggone good against Philly. So the Matt LaFleur commentary today is going to be intriguing because I think the criticism he's being levied, I think there's a lot of fairness to it. Jordan Love, I just don't know what to make because he's shown how great he can be, and then he still makes these decisions that you're looking at and thinking, what are you doing? And I would think at this point we wouldn't have so many of these what are you doing type of deals.
The pressure numbers from Pro Football Focus are not out yet. They obviously have their film folks that'll break that down and award those. And NFL Next Gen Stats doesn't have theirs out yet either. But I can tell you from the game book, they finished with 1 sack, which was by Xavier McKinney, and wound up being a positive play for the Panthers because it was a fumble that went forward and they recovered, and Quay Walker assumed it was an incomplete pass and watched it go by. They had 2 quarterback hits, and one of them is the sack, is how those statistics work. So they hit him one other time. Bryce Young completed 11 passes.
102
for
yards.
102 blanking yards. And this is the first time since they acquired him that Micah Parsons was a complete and utter non-factor.
Yeah, I wonder if it was weird.
And so was Rashawn Gary.
There were some times he was just being blocked by their left tackle. Like, they showed some, it wasn't as if, obviously they paid attention to him and he was spinning. He did his spinner thing and he was standing over. But he was not the impact player yesterday that you...
No.
And part of it was Carolina, they didn't throw it a ton. They obviously knew going in this was the formula they needed, and Green Bay didn't have the answers for Dowdle. Too much Dowdle. They didn't buckle up enough.
Yes, they dawdled around and found out. All right, let's get to our first call, and then we'll take a break and get to more of them, all right? 844-770-3776. We begin deep in the heart of Texas with Mike. Mike, good morning. Positives, negatives, and how you feeling?
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save them.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here, you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Time out on the field. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, a whole house of new windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 6 years.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no extra interest.
And unlike opponents, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin actually stops the drafts.
Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply as 11/30/2025.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
you're going to be happy, happy, happy.
And with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
or a better diamond
or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
if you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into non-stop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino. This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Jesse, okay? Old Joe. I'll tell you what, he's keeping us on that clock today, boy. We're taking calls, and he's like, nope, 9:29, we're going to break, baby. We ain't doing none of that.
We got a lot of calls rolling in, and I happen to be on the phone off air with Pat in New Jersey, who didn't wish to go on the air. He just had some thoughts to share on Matt LaFleur's job as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, what did Pat have to say?
Well, we were doing our own show back here. Yeah.
First time in the history of the show we've hit the 9:30 break.
Well, so I'm talking to Pat in New Jersey, and he said, what does everybody see in Matt LaFleur? Why does everyone say he's such a genius? All we see is in clutch situations. He has all these poor decisions that he makes. Going back to Tampa in the NFC Championship game. And I think there's a discussion to be had there. And so Pat and I were having that discussion, and when I saw both of you staring blankly at the screen most of the time with silence, that means you've thrown to commercial break and I missed it. So that's what I thought happened there. I apologize for doing so.
Okay. So I actually wanted to talk to Mike in Texas. Is he still available?
Mike in Texas is still available, yes. You want to address what Pat in New Jersey had to say before we talk to Mike in Texas? Because Pat, New Jersey, we got a history here with LaFleur in big, tight games, making the right choices.
Yeah, I think Tausch. I assume that this is what he sent to us. I assume is not his manifesto. I assume that was sent to him by one of his buddies, because I can't imagine.
No,
Tausch...
it was sent to me by a guy. Clumpster, who's a great fan of the show. I don't even know if I can put his name. I'm like a Clumpster. We'll just call him Clummy. He put this out to Homer and I. He is a big fan of Homer's, and I think he's fed up with Matt LaFleur, like a lot of folks.
So
and a lot of people fed up with Matt LaFleur after this.
It is a lengthy manifesto, and what you sent. I knew you weren't doing bullet points, so I knew it wasn't from you. This is not the style of a text message.
In this new Chat GPT world, it could happen. FYI. Could. Won't, but could.
It could, but it didn't. It was from Clumpy, the Clumpster. We'll get to Clumpy's text message. But first, we need to get to Mike in Texas. Jesse, we'd like to put Mike in Texas on the radio,
Don't hang up. Don't go to commercial.
This is why all those fancy national shows have like 5 producers back here. You know, one-man band. I'm doing.
You're blaming. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just so we know, it's not hindsight is 20/20, right? If you had another 4 producers, none of that would have ever happened. Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Wow.
Mike's here. Do you want to talk to Mike?
Hello, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Mike. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, that provided a lot of laughs, I tell you. The comments in the YouTube comments are hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure those are great right now, aren't they? Yeah.
All right. So, the first thing I said was, when they lost, I looked at the score and I was like, damn, again. And I'm like, wait, they're 5-2-1. And it feels like they've had a lot of losses. And I think it's because they've had so many games that's so many frustrating. They've, squeaked by. And they, last week was a great win, a dominant win. And so that was my first, feelings. In terms of positives, I mean, at one point I was thinking, damn, Jordan Love is getting really good. Like, these 4th and down conversions, it's like you can really depend on them to, convert that. But then the red zone, they couldn't get anything done. No touchdowns, and that was frustrating. And so there's definitely, there's something that they're just not producing. And Jacobs, I don't know if the injuries, that's not helping at all. Or he's not helping. The running game has kind of become non-existent. So.
I thought they ran it all right.
Yeah, he averaged 5 yards a carry. Again, there are some issues, though, and I keep going back to this, Tausch, because we talked about this on Friday. But when Steno says that there's instances where they're blocking the wrong guy, and now we're 10 weeks into the season, or 9 weeks into the season, is that, look, say what you will about Josh Myers, right? There were a lot of critiques about how good he was at the actual blocking part of his job. But I don't feel like we saw a lot of free runners, and I don't feel like we saw a lot of instances where people were completely unblocked in the run game. Is there Is there something to that aspect? Because, look, we love Elton on this show. I understand the whole premise of their offensive line recombobulation was moving him to center. But if they are struggling to identify and make protection adjustments and blocking assignment adjustments, that is the center, is it not? And is that part of the problem here, or can you not judge that based on what you're able to see?
No, there were some times yesterday that they didn't make the adjustment where the linebacker came shooting through, and it was a running back was supposed to come and close one of it. One of it was a miscommunication between the center and I think the right guard. But we'll have Blue, who breaks down the film a lot more exclusively than I do, break that down. But, yes, you don't have free runners. You always block inside out. You always have contingency plans to make sure that doesn't happen. You leave the widest man for the quarterback to handle. Now, sometimes you get tricked. Guys come from depth. Sometimes you get got as a play caller. You have some stuff dialed up. But the O-line was not good yesterday. Way too many holds. And then you factor when Tucker got hurt, you couldn't get lined up. And there's, we'll put Heath over here, and we had to use a timeout, which is obviously it would have been a great timeout to have late. It just was disjointed, and that's where the frustration to Matt LaFleur is getting. And I also think you have to look at it's time to probably start having a critique of Brian Gutekunst's 2 big free agent signings. Aaron Banks can't finish a game. Those are just unfortunately, he has not been able to. You saw last week when he did. I think when he's healthy and he's available, he's played. He struggled a little bit, but I thought the game last week, it just looked different. And when you have to put Sean Ryan over at left guard and you have Jordan Morgan at right guard, there's a reason you pay a guy $19 million. It's because he needs to be out there and play, and he hasn't been able to. So that part of it you can start critiquing too. But Elton Jenkins at center, I don't think it has been the big success that we all hoped it was going to be. I think that's where we're at right now. And this is a group. That group, while they did run the football a little bit better yesterday, way too many holding penalties, lost yardage runs, guys running free, and it's weak. We just finished our 8th game. Can't happen. Not this consistently. It's one thing if guys are just getting beat. It's another thing if it's mental errors. Seems like there's a little bit of both.
844-770-3776. Jesse, I'm going to take another call here.
Noted.
Let's go to Andy in Waukesha. Andy, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
Doing well, fellas. I called in a couple of weeks ago giving my opinion on Matt LaFleur. I don't think it was necessarily as well received, but I was in the stands yesterday, and I would say for the first time in a long time, there were a lot of fans, Jason, you may have gotten this tone. They weren't just disappointed. There was some anger because I think a lot of fans truly believed this was a Super Bowl contender. And by the end of that game, at least in my section, what we saw looked more like what I used to see in the 1980s. I'm that old. It was an awful performance. So last night I looked back, and when Mike Holmgren and Mike McCarthy won their Super Bowls, they both did so in their 5th season as head coach. This is year 7 in Green Bay for Matt LaFleur. Mike Holmgren only lasted 7 years. I think most fans and observers would say Mike McCarthy was far less successful and his message grew staler the longer he remained in Green Bay. I also looked around, and this kind of fascinated me. Matt LaFleur is now the second longest tenured head coach never to have appeared in a Super Bowl, trailing only Sean McDermott, who's under a lot of pressure to get there this year in Buffalo.
Big win for them yesterday.
He doesn't. Yeah, it was, and I've got relatives in upstate New York. If he doesn't get there, he and Brandon Beane. And by the way, Goody's the second longest tenured GM not to get us to a Super Bowl. I know we've had a lot of regular season success under Matt LaFleur, but if the goal is truly to get to and win Super Bowls, and the GM is proclaiming there needed to be a sense of urgency, not next year, this year, and he's trading 2 first-round picks in the next 2 years to win this year. That was a performance. I'm sure we might beat Philly, but that's a performance that lingers. And I'm going to say this to Tausch. I feel badly for Micah Parsons in the defense. Why were we so passive on defense and letting Carolina take the game to us? I didn't understand it. We didn't do that the first 2 weeks. But I'm just going to say this. The team reflects its coach. The special teams being abysmal, that's a Matt LaFleur hallmark. It's year 7. The message is not resonating. It didn't resonate at the end of last year. Tosh, you know that. What happened against this was as bad as the last game of the year against the Bears. I mean, there have been some really bad losses. Really bad. We could beat. I agree. We have the talent to beat practically anyone. I think we could lose. I heard someone calling your show last night, Tosh, say they don't believe the Packers will be the first place or the second place team. I'm telling you, McCarthy looked pretty good yesterday. The Bears are 5-3 and have a weak schedule. If this team finishes third or, God forbid, fourth, it's going to get it's blowing out in Green Bay. And I'm for one not surprised. I think the fan base. I know you guys may not be there, but I think the fan base may be closer to it than you think. And I'll hang up and listen. But there was real anger. And Tosh, I would compare it to Cincy. That was the last home game. Got done, and I had the same feeling walking out of there as you did. A lot of fans. We didn't really play that well. I didn't really get a good feeling, but we won. That was not the feeling yesterday. We played like crap, and we lost to it. I mean, as you said, Josh Nijman looked better, and their backups than our offensive line did. This is more than Matt LaFleur, but a lot of it's Matt LaFleur. So I'll hang up and listen, but I would not be shocked if in 2 months we're talking about who's the next head coach of the Packers.
Thanks for the call, Andy. We appreciate it. All right, there's a lot that Andy said there.
There's a lot there. I will say, Jason, I did feel – you remember when Matt LaFleur, and I'll never forget when he's talking about how sloppy they were after a Week 17 game. Mm-hmm. That he hit the nail on the head. This game yesterday was very similar to that. Oh, Chicago's offense can't move the football. Well, they ran it against us a little bit, and I don't know how many yards Caleb Williams threw for last year in that game, but it wasn't a ton. And that was yesterday. And it was just the offense was better, but it was choppy, and you did get that same feeling. And now looking back, that Cincinnati game that I was at, with that feeling, everybody scores 40 against that team.
Correct.
I did a show with Gabe Neitzel last night on ESPN, and we did almost half the show was on the defense and offense. The offense is basically, that locker room's a hot mess because Cincinnati can't stop a nosebleed. Like, they are donezo. It's over for Cincinnati. Yep. And then I look back at it, and that game was way more competitive than it needed to be on our end. So I am not – and, Andy, you've been on the anti-Matt LaFleur bandwagon for a while.
True.
And I have fought that. But yesterday and some of the things that have happened, you are 100% right. The fan base – I am not there yet. But the fan base, there is a large percentage. I don't know what percentage it is. I don't think they trust Matt LaFleur in big games. I don't know what that number is, but I don't think the fans trust Matt LaFleur to make the right decisions when the money's on the table. And yesterday was another example of that.
844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. We will get to more of your calls coming up after Tausch tells us about UW Credit Union.
Yeah, the band was up there yesterday, right?
They were. They can't
Marching
go anywhere
along.
and see good football.
It seems as if it's been a tough struggle there, but not bad, Mark, not bad. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for you, proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals, and you know what? If you want to keep your banking local, you love member-first service, and you want great perks like early payday, UW Credit Union is here for you. But you know what? They also have Bucky. They have great community relations throughout the great state of Wisconsin. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you can't pay with anything else. Fan will make you do crazy things, but boy, does this make sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
844-770-3776. Your call's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Hey, think you're the ultimate trivia champ?
Well, prove it against us, your favorite WTMJ host.
It's free to play. All we ask is bring a new unwrapped toy to benefit Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive.
Or you can donate at WTMJ.com. Just text TOY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line.
855-616-1620.
Grab your friends. Test your smarts. All while helping a great cause.
It's the WTMJ Trivia Challenge, coming to a place near you.
Check out the schedule of where we will be at WTMJ.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here with an offer for a bath or shower remodel from Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, you can get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and zero interest financing for 12 months. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hey, it's Gary Ellison for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking to escape the cold or take a midday break? Get your game on at Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center, where it's always golf season. Play more than 2,000 courses, including over 50 right here in Wisconsin. And even that famous course where they hand out green jackets. Top tech simulators, great food, and the best Bloody Marys around. This is your year-round slice of summer. Bays start at just $35 an hour, Monday through Friday. Book your bay today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
When it comes to joint replacement, you want the best care available. The Orthopedic Surgery Center in Pewaukee is a leader in joint replacement, offering same-day surgery with advanced technology. Their team of experts specializes in knee, hip, and shoulder replacements, using the latest techniques to minimize pain and recovery time. By choosing them, you're choosing a center focused on providing specialized care tailored to your needs. The team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin can get you back to what matters, living pain-free.
And their prices are more affordable than urgent care or the ER. And they'll send a full report to your primary care doctor. Why wait at the ER? Walk in to Ortho ASAP for faster, more affordable care.
Total joint replacement. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com. That's orthowisconsin.com.
The shot clock's winding down, and Saturn Lounge scores at the buzzer. When your marketing needs a slam dunk, our team drives the lane with creative strategy, branding, websites, video storytelling, and marketing campaigns that win. We run the full court press in every engagement, pushing the pace, finding that open shot, and delivering the highlight reel results. Our Saturn Lounge team ensures that your marketing content and campaigns dominate like a champion. Don't settle for a turnover or a missed shot or a wasted possession. Let Saturn Lounge run your marketing game plan now. To tell the world your story, visit SaturnLounge.com today.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. With holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust Accutrans Group to handle all my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or a festive celebration, Accutrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
When storms hit or accidents happen, it's not just about property. It's about people. I'm Mandy Grimal-Lococo with Grimal and Associates Insurance. We help families bundle home, auto, and life coverage so you're never facing life's what-ifs alone. With the heavy rains we've seen in Milwaukee, we'll review your policy to be sure water backup, sump pump failures, and flood risks don't drain your wallet. Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where life happens. At Grimal and Associates Insurance in Shorewood, we're here to protect your home, your family, and your peace of mind. Call us today at 414-332-0838.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Let's get back to the Carbless talking text line, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless talking text line. Lists is more. Let's get back to your calls. Wow, there's a lot of calls.
Full phone lines.
Full phone lines. All right.
That means I can pay attention to the show now.
Again, let's use Mark Tauscher's outgoing voicemail message.
We did take a break at 9:28. So
in fairness, to throw things off.
Hey, how'd it feel, guys? Actually being on time there. Pretty good, huh?
Awkward. Very awkward is what it felt like.
Does your voicemail still? I don't call you anymore. Does it still say "be brief, be brilliant, and be done"? That was I always liked that. And you never called me back when I would leave you a message back then either. So let's get to your calls. Be brief.
You were more annoying then than you are now. No offense.
Thank you. I think
that's a compliment.
Yeah, that's nice.
You've gotten better. You've grown.
That's true. We're so much better when we're not in the same place. All right, let's get to your calls on the Carbless talking text line.
I'll see you tomorrow then.
That's fair.
Maybe I'll stay. Maybe I'll just go to I'll go to Beaver Dam tomorrow to do the show.
You just go to a different room in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. All right, let's go to Ricardo, Mr. Positivity, north of the border.
Not today. He's not going to be.
I got a hunch it's not going to be positive today.
Between that and the Blue Jays, Ricardo, how you feeling?
This is possibly the worst sporting weekend of the year up until now. Okay, the Jays lost. They were robbed in Game 6. We gave it up. We gave it up in Game 7. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? The Packers, they're going to bring some happiness. We're going to end off a high note. And what was that? Come on, Matt. This is an L right on Matt LaFleur's forehead, and these are starting to accumulate a little too much. Watching that game and watching other games, I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. But it doesn't look like we have a franchise quarterback the way he calls a game. It's like he's afraid to let him loose. So conservative. The decision-making in critical moments. It's 3rd and 3 in the red zone, and you run a screenplay with 3 wide receivers trying to block, and they didn't even touch anything. And that's predictable. It's happened over and over again. Like, you're watching all the other quarterbacks play. Sam Darnold yesterday, all these other, Jared Goff, J.D. McCarthy. They're attacking. They're vertical, fearless. It is what it is. Like it comes to a point like Matt LaFleur, do we or do we not have a franchise quarterback? Put the ball in his hands. Like enough of this crap. You know what I mean? And then yes, we lost Tucker Kraft. It's gonna be a big loss. But from what I've always learned and I've remembered is if you have a quarterback, you have a chance to win the game. So you need to adjust. It is what it is. You lost your tight end. You lost a wide receiver too. But guess what? You got to call a game to win. Enough of these running plays with Savion Williams. Enough running these plays to play, prioritize your main guys. Matthew Golden gets one opportunity on a screen pass, and then another one over the middle when he's triple covered. Like, what are you doing? Like, and then he gets hurt. Like, it happens. But like, what are we doing out there, man? Like, Matt LaFleur is calling a game like he's scared to lose, like he's scared to win. Like you got to attack it, and then when he wants to get brave, all of a sudden it's 4th and 8. I'm gonna run it now. Like what are you doing, man? The time to be brave was at the end of the first half when you're trying to do the double up, not run the clock down. We'll get a field goal if it happens. Like what are we doing here? Like enough is enough with this guy. I honestly believe if this continues, he won't make it to next season. I'm not lying, and I'm not at that camp where I want him fired. I'm not that guy, but I'm sorry. But in critical moments, he needs to check himself. And Gutekunst needs to fill some holes. Look at the Eagles; they just traded for another pass rusher. They have holes; they're filling it. It's an arms race in the NFC right now. We need a defensive tackle. The run is right up the middle are killing us. The pass rush up the middle is killing us. Quarterbacks are escaping. Bryce Young did it yesterday multiple times. Escape right up the gut. You can have all the best DMs in the world, but if you don't got a defensive tackle to hold, to chase the rabbit out of the hole, it ain't going to go nowhere. And that's what's happening to us lately. Get somebody. We need to make moves. Enough of this nonsense, all right? All right, guys.
Dang.
Poor Ricardo.
If you've lost Ricardo, you're in a bad spot.
So, first of all, let's back up a moment. The Packers entered yesterday 3rd in the league in run defense in terms of yards per game and 4th in the league in terms of yards per attempt. So it's not one of those like misleading stats like in 2011 when they were worst in the league against the pass and among the best in the league against the run because nobody ran it because they were playing catch-up all the time because Rodgers was throwing for 46 touchdowns and 5 picks, and they were lighting up the scoreboard. They were good against the run. Colby Wooden stepped in when they lost Devontae Wyatt and was playing at like a Kenny Clark level. He suffered a shoulder injury yesterday. He left the game. Their run defense sucked yesterday. There's no debating that. But
when Dowdle was in there.
Right.
When Chuba was in there,
Chuba Hubbard didn't go very far.
Chuba, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I got that wrong. My point is that was definitely an issue, but I'm not sure that that's Goody not having enough people there. They did trade away a 3-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle to get Micah Parsons. But it was, again, a contract that they wanted off their books.
Yeah.
So I don't have any problem with that.
Let's not. We don't ever. If you want to get after people, that's not where it's at.
For sure.
Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons is like that is such a big win, and we love Kenny. But come on, come on. We don't even broach that.
And their run defense was good until it wasn't yesterday. So if in the pantheon,
can't give up 19 on 2nd and 10.
You
can't give up a 19-yard run on 2nd and 10.
Right. And by the way, Edger and Cooper is the sophomore slump. He had the play where he shoved a scrambling Bryce Young into DePere on the sideline, which again was Bryce Young's fault because he took his time going out of bounds and he was still in bounds.
He was trying to get a flag
shoved that way.
He was trying to get a flag.
And instead he got shoved. He got a flag and it was picked up. My point is that on the list of things that were a problem yesterday that you could say are baked into the Packers' cake right now, the run defense was unexpectedly bad. Fair? There was no reason to expect they would be that bad against the run yesterday.
Well,
the stuff about the play calling and everything else is a different conversation to me.
The thing that was frustrating is you knew that was their plan.
Correct.
And had Bryce Young came and thrown for 400 yards yesterday, we'd have a whole different conversation.
Right. Like Ryan Tannehill.
If they limited Dowdle and Hubbard to 55 yards rushing and we found a way to lose that game, then you'd say, well, we need to go get a corner. There'd be other conversations to be had. Bryce Young threw for 102 yards. You gave up too much to Dowdle. And he is a really good tailback. He'll probably be a Pro Bowl running back in the NFC this year. But the big question, and I think what Ricardo hit on, is I do wonder, when Jordan Love makes that throw into triple coverage, does that change the way Matt LaFleur approaches the game plan with him? And I think it does. I don't know how much trust. I know what he's going to say, and I don't care what you say. I care what you do.
Right.
Was that more conservative than what you wanted? Probably.
Okay, so let me ask you this so we can get to more calls at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. Because we have crowned Jordan multiple times. If Matt LaFleur doesn't trust him or has concerns about him when he makes those type of mistakes, obviously he's around him all the time. He tailors the game plan. He says what he says about how great he plays. Is there a lack of belief in him from his coach because he's not as good as we think he is? Is that possible? Because you're right, there are times where, like Ricardo just said, you have a franchise quarterback and you don't unleash him, or however Ricardo put that. Maybe he doesn't really believe that that's what he is. I don't know.
Well, that's what they want to be. Maybe that's not what they want to be. I think Matt LaFleur trusts Jordan Love, but then I think it's the same thing. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame, or however it goes. Game room's closed. Me throwing the football on 3rd and 3 is closed. I don't know. But there's obviously still – Jordan has still not consistently shown that he is going to make the right decision when the big moments come. He's done it, and he has done it. And I think to say he hasn't done it, he's been great in the fourth quarter of a lot of games this year.
Right. Last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. But he has made critical mistakes, whether it's versus the Browns, whether it was how you manage the clock against the Cowboys. Obviously, what we saw yesterday on the late in that game, there are mistakes being made, and I guess the question is it Jordan Love's been in the league 7 years. He's played 3. Do we want him to be further along than where he's at? Yeah, it's a fair question. Mm-hmm. There's been plenty of quarterbacks. Sam Darnold was brought up by somebody earlier caller. Sam Darnold has went through this. Remember when he said he saw ghosts? I saw last night he was, just torched.
He was the one who was scary.
Team. Exactly. And it's not all going to just be smooth sailing. I firmly believe in Jordan Love. I know some fans are thinking he's not the guy. I would disagree. I want him as my quarterback moving forward, but he has to get more consistent. There's still too many inconsistencies in his game, and especially at some big moments that make you think, when are you going to turn that corner? Because when I said go be a pro, Jordan is probably the main guy you're talking to. Yeah. And he didn't have that yeoman, I'm going to just go about my business. And we're talking about a guy that threw, 26 of 37 for 260 some odd. Like, it wasn't like he was dog blank yesterday, but he made a couple of bad mistakes, and that's the stuff that gets you beat.
Right. I want to get to more of your calls on the Carbless Talk and text line 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Tausch is going to tell you about Tito's in a second. I just want you to chew on something that Roberto in the YouTube comments for ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel said, and I think this is really interesting. Matt was scared of Brandon Aubrey. He let that affect his 2-minute drill. Yesterday, he was slow before the half and took too much time not being aggressive. He overthinks everything. That was the sentence that struck me. 4th and 8, lost yardage on 3rd down. You're down 3 to 4 offensive starting weapons, and so you go for it. How dumb can a coach be? I don't know if I agree with the second part, but he overthinks everything. I think there's a conversation for us to have on that later in the week. We got more calls to get to. We'll get to those after Tausch tells us about Tito's.
I also want to see, do Packer fans trust in Matt LaFleur? I think it's a question
Sounds like
that
a poll
needs
question.
to be answered today. That's what I'm saying. And you know what? I like poll questions. I like football. And I love Tito's. And whether it's pre-gaming, a little spicy Bloody Mary mix, if it's a tonic, if it's just a normal lemonade or a cranberry, and since it's fall, it's always going to be Tito's in my glass with it, because they're not only do they make great drinks, Tito's also gives back in a big way, partnering with nonprofits and doing real good in the communities across the country, especially for our four-legged friends. So next time you're raising a glass, make sure it's Tito's handmade vodka, which is distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, and it is crafted to be savored responsibly.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit LakelandSupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and football season is here. Are you ready to make money betting on sports? Are you ready to make a winning decision? Are you going to gamble for fun, or are you going to gamble for money? This year, make that decision that will build your bankroll all year long. Go to FatJackSports.com, and for less than $100 a week, make money betting on the games. That's FatJackSports.com. It's a personal portal. It comes to your email. It's hassle-free. It'll make you money. FatJackSports.com.
At Tony Wendorf and Associates First Weber Group, we do more than close deals. We serve with gratitude and faith-filled purpose. We've sold over $300 million in real estate since 2020, one of the top-ranked real estate teams in Wisconsin, and we're just getting started. What sets us apart? We care. Even if we're not your agent, we'll still help. That's the kind of stewardship the community deserves. If you're buying or selling across southeastern Wisconsin, let us earn your trust. I'm Tony Wendorf, and I want to create your red carpet experience. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Shop the Pig! The new Piggly Wiggly Pig Points program is here, and earning rewards just got easier. Now you'll earn 10 Pig Points for every $1 you spend, and redeem those points on your favorite products right in the store. It's simple, it's rewarding, and it's all right here at your neighborhood Piggly Wiggly. So shop more, earn more, and save more, only at Piggly Wiggly. Sign up today at shopthepig.com. Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig!
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Bruston Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour, Wilde and Tausch begins now. Let's get back to your calls on the Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. I know Jack in Wichita. He's proud of his town. Isn't that the town they're in with the cab driver, Wichita?
Could be, yeah.
I think so.
You know, that's a damn rare thing these days.
Have you watched the John Candy documentary yet on Prime? That's on my to-do list. I really want to watch that. As a huge
Landman
fan.
is kind of where I'm at.
I've heard that, yeah, but only on airplanes. It's funny that
I
you
haven't watched any of the new ones.
A show called Landman when you're in the air.
It is ironic.
Don't you think?
That's funny, and it's true.
It's funny now. Not as funny as the game room and clowns. All right, let's get to your calls. Carbless Talk and Text line is 844-770-3776. Let's go to Jack in Wichita. Jack, thanks for holding on so long, buddy. I'm going to try and be more expeditious. I apologize. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for holding on. What do you got? The floor is yours.
Yeah. Thank you. So when we play objectively inferior opponents, does it just seem like our whole team collapses? That's kind of the point I'm trying to make with Matt LaFleur, I guess. I've always been a Matt LaFleur truther. I've always thought he's gotten too much hate in our fan base. But now I'm starting to see where they're coming from, to be completely honest. I don't know if this guy is going to be able to call games that we can actively win. Like the last caller said, it seems like he's actively play calling to just lose or tie these games, or because he's scared or overthinking. And I am just curious, like the missed opportunities, the missed field goal. Did any Packers fan in the world think that field goal was going to go in? I didn't. And it felt the same way during the Browns game, and the Bryce Young fumble going right into Chuba Hubbard's hands, and then Chuba getting a 6-yard gain out of it. That stuff always just seems to happen when it just seems like a total team collapse every time we play games like this. We play down to our opponents, and I don't know if that's a Matt LaFleur thing. I don't know if that's a locker room thing. I don't know what it is, but I just think it needs to change, and I would love to hear your guys' take on it.
Great call, Jack. All right. There's I don't know what. I guess my question is this, Tausch. What if you? Because I've got the YouTube commenters in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube comments. We're talking about, I have not asked LaFleur for a one-on-one this season. I try to limit those. I don't need them regularly. I feel like I can ask questions in the press conferences I'm at. But what do we want from Matt LaFleur? What are we not getting from him that we feel like we should be getting from him?
I think
is he not aggressive enough? Is he too aggressive? Is he playing scared? What is he? What frustrates us?
I think fans, the biggest frustration that fans have is that they feel like Matt LaFleur doesn't have his teams ready on a consistent basis to beat teams that we should beat pretty handily. When I look at when we play Detroit or when we play Minnesota, we have been, I think, right there. And if you lose some of those games, I think you can understand it. It was the loss to the Bears last year. It was this loss yesterday. It's losing games to teams that you feel like you're a lot better than, or playing them tighter than you need to or that you want to. And part of it is, I think, we just always assume that we're that much better because we're favored, because we shouldn't lose home games. I'm a big believer in that. Had this happened in Charlotte yesterday, I would be a lot more forgiving of Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers, just because it is a lot more difficult to win on the road. But that is the biggest concern I think that Packer fans have, along with, I think along with not making smart decisions in the big moments.
Yep.
That, I believe, it's more in line, because I don't think there's any Packer fans that think he's not a smart offensive mind, that he hasn't rejuvenated our offense from where it was on that lonely, cold, windy, blustery day when Mike McCarthy lost his job. That I think everybody's on board with, but I think the other part of it is, and this sounds crazy, but I see a lot of commentary on his manicured face and fingers and his hair and his mustache, and I think people equate that with him being soft. I think people think Matt LaFleur is soft. I disagree. I don't think our team plays soft. I think we're physical. I think bringing Cooper and Quay Walker in that defense, I don't think we're a soft team, but I do think there is a portion of Packer fans that feel like Matt LaFleur leads a soft football team. And I don't know if yesterday's a great example of that, but that's how I feel people look at it.
There was a point from Dennis in one of I'm trying to toggle between the two, about the idea of where is the player responsibility on this conversation. Like, if you draw a bubble screen and a guy doesn't block the guy he's supposed to block effectively, and Savion Williams gets hit and fumbles, is that a bad call or is that bad execution? You're the one who played in the league for 11 years. How much
bad
of
execution.
Right? So there's responsibility there too, right? It's not a bad
Jason,
call on its face.
You know this, but you went back to that play and it worked the second time. So yes, coaches need to put players in positions to succeed. If you have a guy that can't block on the perimeter, you don't put him out there. And
sure.
I think it was Heath who is their best blocking wide receiver outside of Christian Watson, in my opinion. Then maybe you don't put him out there. And if you make a mistake, typically what happens is you get pulled. You get Bo Ryan'd, if you don't do it. So there's give and take, but it's a heck of a lot easier to complain about the coach unless it's the same player doing something over and over again. And I don't think this is a coach. This is a combination of everything. And I just thought yesterday we, for whatever reason, never found rhythm. Coach's job is to get their players into rhythm and let them go do their thing. That never really happened on a consistent basis yesterday.
844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talking text line. God, we're all over the map here. Sacramento, Green Bay, Sheboygan, Madison, Cedarburg, Muskego, Oak Creek, Minnesota, Los Angeles. We got a lot of calls to get to. Let's start in Sacramento with Mike. Mike, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. What do you got?
Good morning. Well, a lot of the points I was going to make, I think we've already talked quite a bit about this morning. Let me try and come at this from a little bit, maybe at a different angle. Certainly on LaFleur, I agree with a lot of the comments about his in-game management in critical situations, and it hasn't been great, to say the least, and yesterday might be the worst example of it. So I do think there's a danger now that the season, it's like we're at an inflection point now, and there's a danger that the season could spiral out of control. And we're going to see what kind of coaching job LaFleur can do now. He lost Tucker Kraft. You got other injuries in the receiver core. And I think maybe Goody, taking a little different angle here, maybe needs to help out his coach. I think the two biggest issues they need to focus on is solving the instability on the offensive line and helping the interior rush defense. I agree with Ricardo. I think they could really use a defensive tackle, and there might be a good one available in Quinton Williams from the Jets. But on the offensive line, Goody's off-season plan, and I wonder how much of LaFleur was involved in this decision to move Jenkins to center. I never thought that was a good idea. You want to replace Josh Myers, go get another center and leave your all-pro guard at left guard. And the Aaron Banks signing has been a fail. And I would just put him on the bench because you cannot solve the instability on the offensive line with him constantly in and out of the lineup. And he just can't stay healthy. And maybe he needs to go on IR until he is healthy. And so we've got a game against Philly, and, maybe they beat Philly, but then they go on the road to play the Giants. Are we going to see the same sort of thing, losing to an inferior opponent on the road? And then you got the Vikings who beat Detroit, and then you got to play Detroit on Thanksgiving. So this loss to Carolina really hurts in that regard.
Yeah. Good call. The question you asked there, Mike, really fascinates me, though, because I don't know. And again, Tausch, are they playing down to the level of their opponents, or are they just not as good as we think they are? That was the question I was wondering as I walked out from the press box on my way to LaFleur's presser yesterday. And I don't know the answer to that. I still refuse to believe they were as bad as they were yesterday. I just didn't see that. But their execution was poor. Their coaching was poor. The decision-making was poor. They played like a not very good football team, and that's why they lost as a 13.5-point favorite.
Yes, but I think you always, like we talk about when we evaluate young football players, I do the same thing with ceilings on football teams. And when we've seen this team play at its best, I don't know of a team that's better than this group. But unfortunately, you have to do that consistently. And the most consistent teams that know what they're about are the teams that usually are in that Final Four chasing a championship. And right now, I'm not 100% sure I know what Green Bay is about. Like, what are we about? Do we want to be a running football team? Do we want to be a Jordan-led throwing the ball football team? I know we want to be a hunt the passer, get after people up front with the additions with Rashan and with Parsons, but that wasn't the case yesterday. Why? So I still believe that this is a good football team. I think the loss of Tucker Kraft is going to be a huge hurdle to overcome. I don't know. That to me, out of everything yesterday, is the biggest blow, because you're going to have games in this league where it doesn't go right. The great teams find a way to win a game like that yesterday. Mm-hmm. Good teams sometimes don't. And what I've been saying all year is this is a good team that can play great, but it's also a good team that when they don't play good, they get beat. And that's welcome to the NFL in 2025. That's almost every team that we talk about. That's where they're at. So that's why positioning and getting yourself in a spot where you can kind of dictate who you play and where you play them is going to be as important as anything, because I think at this point, unless things change, I don't think a team's going to go on the road and win 3 games. This team will not. This Green Bay Packer team will not win 3 road playoff games unless they make some great jump that I don't know about. But do I think they can win a couple of home games in the playoffs? I do. But yesterday's not a good example of me saying that.
Yeah, we need you to tell us about American Family Insurance. I would just add this. If they find a way to win that game, this entire show is about how devastating losing Tucker Kraft is today.
Yes.
And how do they move forward? And the fact that they also lost the game, in addition to losing him, we are focused on all that. But make no mistake about it, I think everyone understands how devastating that loss is.
Yeah, I think everybody does. And then the question is Goody going to do anything about going out and getting anybody, or is this going to be the Musgrave show? I'm leaning towards it'll be the Musgrave show, but there is a couple of days left in the trade deadline, and you need to insure carefully when it comes to that. And you know what? Life is better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. That's because when you feel protected, you're free to enjoy your dreams, from decorating a new nursery to hosting a family reunion in your backyard. So insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. And I get good news. Sarah and I are campaign with the American Family Children's Hospital around the holidays. We are loading that up again. It starts today. We go through December 31st. We need to raise $50,000 for American Family, to double that, get it all the way to $100,000. We're going to continue to pound on that because it is important in our community to continue to support the American Family Children's Hospital like American Family Insurance has. So we'll be sending out a tweet here shortly to get that thing rolling again. We got the holiday season. We know you're getting pulled in a lot of ways. We appreciate everybody supporting us last year, and we will look forward to that again this year.
More of your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta restaurants. Purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com and get a $20 holiday bonus for every $100 you spend. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Timeout on the field. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, a whole house of new windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 6 years.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no extra interest.
And unlike opponents, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin actually stops the drafts.
Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 11/30/2025.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Crisp air, cozy sweaters, and a home that's actually ready for fall. Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Don't let your home be the only thing falling apart this season. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. Exterior Pros and Baths, because your house deserves a little sweater weather too.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Get back to your calls on the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776. This is more calls, starting with Eric in Green Bay. Eric, good morning. They're definitely not trading Romeo Doubs at the trade deadline now. How you doing?
No. Yeah, doing well. I think the Tucker Kraft injury definitely solidified that. Yeah, just kind of a few quick hitters in the game, and then I kind of a question to leave you guys with. For me, I think the biggest takeaway of the game outside of losing Tucker Kraft, which is number one, is that as holistically, have we improved as a team with the Micah Parsons? Obviously, he has had a phenomenal impact, but I feel like you make this trade to completely elevate yourself and kind of be in that tier where the Vikings and the Lions last year were like a 3-4 loss team. And I know he didn't have the biggest impact yesterday. Again, he has been phenomenal, but I think we still have the same floor, and that's losing to abysmal teams. And, we've had historically two massive losses this year when you factor in Cleveland, right, and now Carolina.
Only two losses of the year?
Yeah, the only two losses, and a tie in there. But, yeah. And that's amazing how we just kind of played down to our opponents. The other thing I kind of want to get into is like LaFleur's all gas, no brake mantra. And to me, I think that can be addended a little bit. I think all gas, no brake can mean also taking advantage of the opportunities that you have. And again, I look at that fourth down situation there, or, just kind of a red zone offense and on these shortcomings. And again, I think if you're putting up points every drive, and if the drive calls for a field goal, taking the field goal, but constantly putting pressure on them and having the other team's defense know that you're getting something out. You're going to move the ball every single drive. They might not finish with a touchdown, but you're going to put yourself in position to get points every single drive. And when we pass up those opportunities, I think bad things happen. And I guess one of the questions is for anybody on the panel, and it's easy to, armchair quarterback, Monday morning quarterback or whatever the next day, but did anybody agree with that 4th and 8 decision at the time? You're down Tucker Kraft. And it's like with 12 minutes left, again, I don't know what the analytics say. But, again, if you take 3 points there, now you're telling your defense, even if you give up a field goal, we're in this. But now go give us the ball back and give us an opportunity, because we will get the ball back. There's 12 minutes left, and let us finish this and let us win the game. I don't know if that's an indictment on a lack of trust against McManus after he missed the kick earlier in the game. I think if that's the situation, you got to get rid of him, that they wouldn't kick another field goal in that position there. But, and Jason, I think you use this line a lot of times too when you kind of talk about like having a thumb on the scale. I think at times everyone on this team seems to be overconfident in the wrong moments. It might be Rasheed Walker after a couple of great games to start the year drinking the Kool-Aid and saying we're going to go undefeated. It might be Jordan Love on a bit of a hot streak last week and throwing a good, well, not necessarily good, but a jump ball to Watson that he caught, and then saying, you know what, I'm going to throw this into triple coverage. And it seemed to be with LaFleur, and I don't know where this comes from, when you're failing to put the ball in the end zone the entire game, and your play on 3rd and 3 gets blown up, and then your response is, you know what, well, that failed, but on 4th and 8, we're going to get it, even though we haven't gotten it at all today in on 4th down situation. So I don't know where it needs to come from, but I like that analogy you use of having the thumb on the scale. And it seems like when things get going one way, they have too much confidence in the wrong departments, and it's unwarranted.
So
I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
yeah, all right. So a couple things, Eric, that I like from this call. First of all, again, kind of like the Tucker Kraft injury that we haven't spent a whole lot of time on that we normally would have. The kicking situation. Tausch, I would ask you this. Is having Lucas Havrisik causing a player, and I'm not saying that this is or isn't the case, I don't know, but is it creating an insecurity or a self-doubt or whatever it is in your existing kicker that you gave a $15 million contract to? Is it, or is that, if I'm even asking that, is he the wrong guy if he's that fragile that it's affecting his performance? I don't know the answer. I am literally flummoxed.
You do know
by
the
that.
answer. You don't ask. You do know the answer. You don't ask the question.
Well, I'm curious if it's possible that that's the case. I don't know that that's the case.
Why do you ask the question then?
Because no one else carries two kickers on their 53 other than the Packers.
Nobody else has a guy. Yes, they do. No. Yes, they do.
No,
other teams
they don't.
do.
No, they don't.
They have. Never in the history of the NFL has anybody had two kickers.
All right,
Come on.
no. There is no other team in the league right now with two kickers on their 53.
There's guys on practice squad that can be elevated the day of. So we all know the Havrisik deal. He came in. He's done a great job. The guy got hurt. And nobody had any questions about McManus. He got hurt. Did he rush back early? I don't know. It feels like he did. He has not been the same guy since he had a quad injury that Matt LaFleur said, I remember on this show, I think it was, it's, what was the word he used? Troublesome?
A concern, a major concern.
Concerning.
And we had the thesaurus discussion, etc.
So if you don't feel confident, put him on IR for 4 weeks and let Havrisik kick. And then when McManus is back, you let him kick. And if you want to get rid of Havrisik, but I'm not interested. If this is what is sending him into a tailspin, he's not the guy. McManus has been around a long time. He's kicked in Super Bowls. He's made a ton of big kicks. He was awesome last year. I don't think he's fully healthy. And I think he's battled back because he sees that this young fella's playing really good. He kicked really good. And now that position has went from being a big-time strength to what are we doing here? Right. And that's a problem. So if he's not healthy, which I don't know, that's up to you guys. That's up to the training staff and him.
If he's not healthy enough to be kicking, if he's not healthy enough to be kicking, and he's kicking anyway, doesn't that not make you wonder if he's forcing himself to kick because he's worried about his job security? Because if you are truly confident, you shouldn't be out there.
He's missing kicks. Put him on a short-term IR and let Havrisik kick. But this whole concept, nobody has two kickers. You don't want to have two kickers. I get it, but it's not the first time it's ever happened. It won't be the last. And if that is what's sending him into a tailspin, we're not where we want to be.
He's now kicked in 2 games with his leg not clearly fully healed. He described it yesterday to Dominique Yates of the Journal-Sentinel, who got him one-on-one yesterday after the game, that he's kicked like poopy. He didn't use poopy. So if he's kicking that way, if you would have put him on IR to begin with, he would have not done anything to further damage it, and now we'd be at the end of the 4-game IR stint. Had they chosen to do that, they did not. They're allowing him to kick. He has now missed 3 kicks in the last 2 games, and you went for it on 4th and 8. Now, I don't know if that factored into Matt LaFleur's thinking or not. He did not indicate that it did. He thought they could get it. I think he was probably more, let's go get a touchdown, I believe in this play, than he was, we might miss the kick. I don't think that's why he chose to go for it and made that bad decision.
I agree
because he
with
was
that.
afraid he was going to miss. But again, you've created one of the problems that you should have with this team as a fan is now the things that they're supposed to be good at are also an issue. Right? They're supposed to be good against stopping the run. They didn't do that. They got a kicker who missed 1 kick all regular season after they added him in October. Now he's missed 3 kicks in 2 games this year. Like, the things you could count on, you can't count on those either. That's why it feels like they're worse than a 5. By the way, they are still in first place in the division. 5-2-1 is the best winning percentage in the NFC North. They are 4th in the pecking order in the conference, but they would win the division if it ended today. They would have a home game.
You remember when Tom Waddle and our Bold-a-thon said that they'd go 8-0, and then they start off 2-0 against what most of us thought was the hardest part of their schedule? And since they're 2-0, you do the math. What is that? They're 3-2. I don't know what the math is on it.
3-2-1.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's been so. I just think you look at this and you say this team has not improved and has not gained the consistency that you're looking for. But you still have more than half of the season left. So I'm not in panic city mode. The Tucker Kraft injury has paused my thoughts on how great this team could be, because anytime you take one of your great players off for the season and you don't know who you replace it with, your production's going to go down. This is not, people could say, well, in 2010, there was a lot of guys that were, injured on that season, but none of them were Jordy, Aaron, Charles. You still had your main guys that you needed that could go out and execute. Tucker Kraft is a big blow to what this offense is. And I think a big reason why we only threw up 13 points yesterday.
All right, let's get to another call on the Carbless Talking text line before we get another break in. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Let's go to Ron in Sheboygan. Ron, thanks for waiting so long. We appreciate it. What do you got for us?
Hey, guys, I generally don't listen to post-game shows or overreaction Monday shows because fans are going to fan. And I get that. And I'm not here to tell you how to fan. But, Jason, thank you. This is the first time it was mentioned in your show. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Packers are still in first place in the NFC North, which is supposed to be the toughest division in football, right?
Doesn't feel like it today, but yes.
We want to fire the head coach because he sucks, right? This is exasperating for me. Goody didn't do his job. Fire him. Jordan Love isn't trustworthy. Let's replace him. I mean, I've heard some of that today. That's why I don't listen to these shows. But I will tell you this. You guys, I want to compliment you guys because you guys hit on some things that most talking heads, and I don't mean it to sound as a pejorative, but most analysts don't get. And you guys got it. The protection calls are what lost that game yesterday from the center position. That's what lost that game yesterday. Jordan Love was under pressure probably 50% of the time. That's a problem. And this experiment isn't working. So congratulations to you guys for picking that up. And the other thing is when Tausch said this narrative that Matt LaFleur is somehow soft that has taken hold is crazy to me. Who is the one that hit harder and put guys out of the game yesterday because of their hard hits? It wasn't the Carolina Panthers. So, usually you take a look and say, well, the coach is soft. That's, the team takes on the personality of his coach. Well, if the team generally has taken on the personality of the coach, the last thing, there's no evidence to say that he's soft. Now, last thing, thank you for taking my call, by the way, is we are wringing our hands and clutching our pearls over what's taken place this season. We've lost 2 games because of missed kicks. If you really want to boil it down, we've lost 2 games because our field goal kicker missed a kick. We're trying to compare Jordan Love in his 3rd year to Aaron Rodgers, who won 4 MVPs. In 2010, Aaron Rodgers had 28 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. He went on to win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. We talk about boneheaded plays by our quarterback. Well, I remember the 2010 NFC Championship game inside the red zone, and Aaron Rodgers threw the ball right to Brian Urlacher.
Yeah,
his
best play was the tackle he made.
Exactly, because if he doesn't make that tackle, they don't win that game. So let's compare apples to apples, and let's compare Aaron Rodgers in his third season and Jordan Love in his third season, because Aaron Rodgers made a lot of boneheaded mistakes. Aaron Rodgers didn't become Aaron Rodgers until the divisional game against Atlanta. That's where his career really took off. His first 3 years, he was above average, slightly above average. That was it. It wasn't until that Atlanta game where everything took off. So let's tap the brakes here on firing a head coach who's leading the number one team in the NFC North. And would you rather be the Green Bay Packers or the Detroit Lions, who just lost to a quarterback who played in like his sixth game in the NFL at home? You were like the odds-on favorite to win in the NFC, and you just took it on the chin and were behind all game. You never had a lead in that game. You want Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, or do you want Matt LaFleur, who wins 2 out of every 3 games, and Jordan Love, who is on his way, by the way? He's making throws that very few people in the world can make. So just tap the brakes a little bit. I don't want to tell you how to fan, but just be careful, because you're really only 2 seasons away from being the Wisconsin Badgers if you make calls like firing your coach and your general manager where you were first place. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the time.
Thanks for the call, Ron. We appreciate you. There's a lot there.
Sounds like he wants to tell people how to fan.
He gave his opinion on how he is fanning right now. But I am curious to see if we were to take calls again tomorrow, if the, kind of the 24-hour rule applies, and maybe we dial back a little bit the frustration with LaFleur or whatever, because look, you lose as a 13.5-point favorite, people are going to be pissed, because no one envisioned that happening. I could have envisioned yesterday, I said this on Green Bay game day pregame, I could envision them not living up to my proclamation that if you are the team you think you are, you go out there and you win 38-10. And you with your acronym about go out and be a pro. Like, I could see them winning 27-17, and we come out of that game going, boy, that wasn't very impressive at all. Like, these guys aren't very good. They didn't play at a very high level. I did not envision them losing. I did not see that coming. So I understand why people are pissed. But, again, to me, the biggest thing, besides the fact that you lost the game, is how are you going to redesign your offense now to be able to be effective without Tucker Kraft? And how are you going to get all these other guys involved that we're talking about, hey, we want to spread it around? Well, you're going to be spreading it around to a bunch of guys, wide receiver, and a Luke Musgrave and John Fitzpatrick, and maybe you could have used Chipotle Ben after all. We'll get to more of your calls on the Carbless Talk and text line 844-770-3776. Speaking of phone numbers, there's only one call to make if you've been injured in an accident, and that is to Gruber Law Office's one call. That's all. Hopefully you never have to make that call, but if you do, know the number, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, or go to the website, gruber-law.com, to find out more. More of your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Looking for a delicious meal without breaking the bank? Cousin Subs has you covered. Our $10 meal deal gives you a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub piled high with fresh hand-sliced ingredients, crisp veggies, and all your favorite toppings. Add a bag of chips or regular fries, a fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal's available online or through the Cousins app only. And you can enjoy your meal at home, at work, or delivered straight to your door, hot and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available at participating locations. Offer subject to change.
They pretty much hurt doing anything. I couldn't ride a bicycle. You don't have your life because you don't have your mobility.
So when Patrick heard about QC Kinetics and their non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain, no waiting, he called them immediately.
There's no downtime. There's no rehab. That was the tipping point for me. I didn't have to take any drugs. I didn't have to rehab.
Before considering surgery, check out QC Kinetics all-natural treatment options that restore and repair damaged joint tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
If you have knee replacement surgery, and then the knee is not yours, and there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful.
QC Kinetics. Patients around the country are raving about the results. They're getting back their mobility, taking back their lives with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 14.75 to 29.45 ounce selected varieties Culinary Circle Pizza, 2 for $10. 46 to 48 ounce selected varieties Blue Bunny Dairy Dessert, $3.99. 4 to 6 count selected varieties Dan & Light and Fit or Oikos Multi-Pack Yogurt, 2 for $7. Gallon selected varieties Prairie Farms White Milk, $3.99.
I am starving.
Oh, no. Never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh. Oh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
Enter by November 12th.
Imagine your home totally organized. At Closets by Design, we specialize in providing affordable, custom-built storage solutions with built-ins and beyond. From walk-in closets to entertainment centers, our experienced designers work within your budget to design a solution fit perfectly to your needs. Get 40% off plus an additional 15% with 18-month financing. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get started. Let's get organized together.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9. Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
Welcome to Jackpot Land, this fall at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all fall to win your share of thousands in prizes each month and earn entries into the big December Jackpot Land prize drawings. Your October, November, and December entries all count. Win thousands in cash or reward play. Welcome to Jackpot Land, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
All right, we're a break behind, so we're going to take one call here, and it's killing me because Jesse just informed me in the break that for the Barry Alvarez show at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, he is Ubering Coach and the boys.
No.
So
you're driving Coach in your car?
We got a full car. We can't do this, okay? I'm dying to do this, but we can't do this. We have too many calls to get to. On the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-37.
I got the open tomorrow.
Indeed. Get the dash cam and just turn it around and have it record the entire drive with the 4 of you on your way down to Rockford and the Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's get to your calls again on the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776. Let's go to Juan in Madison. Juan, thanks for holding on so long, buddy. What do you got?
All right. So about the kicker issues, I'm just curious. Would you give up a 4th for Cam Little? You know, I mean, he's got that good leg. Also, with Matt LaFleur, I mean, we're 7 years in and still, you know, having the is he the guy kind of questions. And, Jason, last week you said, I think you're talking about your daughter and, like, telling her don't make the same mistakes.
and we're still making the same mistakes about, not being prepared. This is the type of game where you got to be prepared, and if you lose, it's clear that, the guys weren't prepared. And, I mean, especially being at home, these are the type of teams that you got to beat. I get that they're not a horrible team, but this is definitely a game that you should have won, especially at home. So, yeah, that's just what I got.
Appreciate the call, Juan. You know what I'm getting a lot of in the YouTube comments and in tweets, etc.? Matt LaFleur had all of his success because of Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of people that are questioning how good of a coach he is. I disagree. I think the Packers needed a reboot offensively, and I tell that story all the time about after that Thursday night game where all those guys were in the locker room talking about what they saw from the Rams offense on Thursday Night Football against the Vikings. And wouldn't it be fun if we ran that offense? They do. My question is, are they successfully scheming guys open with all this two safeties back coverage that's keeping everything in front of them? I'm curious to know if they're doing
Jason,
that sufficiently.
I'm not going to say who just texted me this, but what do you think the Packers' record is the last 3 seasons, 3+ seasons, under Matt LaFleur?
Let's see, 9-8, plus 11-6, plus 5-2-1. So I'm not doing the math now. Tell me what it is.
34, 27-1 is where we're at.
That sounds kind of mid.
That's what I'm saying. So I think we get caught up with the greatest coach in the history of football through the first 3 years, the record.
Yeah,
that's true too. He had the greatest, and that's nothing to slouch at. That gives you the credibility of what you're doing. Now the question is he going to elevate that and take you to the next level? I mean, Sean McDermott has lasted a long time in Buffalo. Been there a long time.
Yes.
I'm guessing Buffalo fans are happy today because they beat Kansas City, but I'm sure they have the same conversations they have an MVP quarterback. We have a good, young, ascending, inconsistent quarterback here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for as much as I am a Matt LaFleur guy, I think Matt LaFleur is a good coach. He's not above being criticized. I don't have a problem with people asking all these questions. It doesn't mean I have to agree with them about it, but Ed Policy is going to have a tough decision to make here. He is either going to have to commit to another 5 years of Matt LaFleur after this season, or he's going to have to let this thing play out and have a coach be a free agent. And if that happens, I would say if I'm Matt LaFleur, I'd say, no, you don't want to extend me?
Yeah.
Deuces.
Matt,
if Ed Policy had a deadline the same as the trade deadline, Ed Policy, you have to, by November 4th, tomorrow at 4 p.m., you have to commit to Matt LaFleur for the next 4 years, or you have to say this is it. What is he doing today or by tomorrow at 4?
He is not signing him to an extension. Is he signing Goody to an extension?
Yes. Goody's getting extended.
Adam Schefter confirming, per sources, what we all expected, feared, knew, and that is Tucker Kraft's ACL is indeed torn, so his season is over. We need to get some more of your calls coming up. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. Tausch needs to tell us about Coors Light first, though.
Indeed I do, and whether you're tailgating pregame, enjoying your experience during the game, heading down to Hard Rock Casino Rockford, and you're going to throw a little dice with the old ball coach, crack open a Rocky Mountain cold Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged. So it is made to chill. I do wonder, will Jesse put a little, obviously Jesse as driving won't be able to, does he put a little baby cooler in the back, let the boys have a couple cold ones? I don't know. It's up to Jesse. It's only 102 calories. Make sure it is Coors Light in your hands. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Are they all sitting in the back together, the three of them in the back row, and you're in the front by yourself?
I don't know what that layout's going to be. He's got a new car from when I rode down to Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
And it's got a ding in the back
bigger,
from
correct?
getting rear-ended.
Yeah, a little more leg room.
All right, we still have one segment left in the 10 o'clock hour, which is hard to believe given we took that break at 9:28.
Who's going to
in the first
shotgun?
hour?
Oh, boy.
It's got to be Barry. More of your calls next.
No, if you have somebody that'll move that front seat up, I'm telling you, with someone who wants to stretch their legs, it's usually a little bit better in the back. It is. But if you got Angler sitting up there, he's going to want to have the seat way back. Tark will do whatever Coach says. Tark will shove his knees through the windshield so that Barry can put his legs back. So that my guess, Tark squinches up against the windshield. Barry has all kinds of room to kick his legs back, and then Jesse is forced to shove his thing way up so that Angler can kind of stretch his legs out in the back too. That's how I envision the layout of Jesse today.
Go boo in a bar.
More calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All the antics.
Why the hell are we still doing encores? I go to the Killers, and they leave the stage. Oh, thank you, good night. Oh, I can't believe they didn't play Mr. Brightside.
All the action.
The talent they have here is a joke. And to me, I don't know, it just feels like a money grab by Fickle because he didn't want to put the work in.
I mean, is Wisconsin a real program? The best of both worlds lives right here. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and when it comes to my home, I want a team that I can trust, and that's Lifetime Home Services. From cleaner air and radon safety to custom closets and electrical work, they do it all under one roof. What I'm most excited about right now is their epoxy floors. They make your garage clean, durable, and organized, with shelving and storage to get everything off the floor. For over 30 years, families have trusted Lifetime Home Services to make their homes safer and better looking. Trusted solution, lifetime results. Schedule today at lifetimehomeservices.com.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into non-stop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino. UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week honors go to Homestead Junior quarterback Lee Zortman, who led the Highlanders to a thrilling 27-20 win over West Bend West to clinch the North Shore Conference title. Zortman rushed 13 times for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 54-yard sprint to the end zone early in the first quarter, but his biggest moment came late, engineering a 10-play, 54-yard drive and finishing it himself with a 1-yard game-winning score with just a minute and 38 seconds remaining. With the win, Homestead maintained a perfect 9-0 overall record and a 7-0 conference record. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Homestead High School's Lee Zortman.
The pursuit of fair wages and top-of-the-line benefits is achieved when the right union has your back. The Sheet Metal Workers Labor Union is extremely diverse, representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Let's get to more of your calls on the Carbless Talk and text line. We have 7 in the queue, so I can promise you, Terrell, you're 7th in the pecking order. We will get to you before the end of the show if you're willing to stay on hold. Let's start in the town that Jesse Nelson made famous, in Muskego. With
They
Chris.
still in it?
Oh,
They still in it, Jell?
Yeah. Easy through the first 2 rounds. Now the
Listen
playoffs
to you.
start for the Muskego Warriors.
Listen to you.
Gotcha.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Oh, so I had to wake up after an hour and a half of waiting. But is Matt LaFleur, do I have faith in him? No.
Yeah.
Has he got a great record? Yeah. Does he make a lot of bonehead decisions when it comes crunch time? Oh, yeah. Jenkins at center, is this a failure? Yes. Most of the pressure comes up the middle. If you watched all the games this season, almost all the pressure on Love comes up the middle. And yesterday was one of the worst days I've ever seen him play. Matt LaFleur, he loves that little screen pass to the wide receivers where, okay, maybe a receiver doesn't block a guy and he gets sucked up. But Carolina, by the time the second quarter comes, he already ran that play 3 times, and Carolina, they scouted that. They had that play down. Same with throwing the little short screen passes to the running backs. Last week, he makes an adjustment coming into the second half of the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Love looks fantastic. He hits 10 different receivers. I'm so heartbroken about Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft has a great game last week, but yet Jordan Love was still able to hit a bunch of receivers. Watson, four receptions. Tucker Kraft had 10, and a bunch of other guys. So they had over 10 receivers hit. What happened yesterday? It's like LaFleur doesn't know how to make any type of adjustments at times. He just gets his brain stuck on certain plays and doesn't call the offense to what's happening. It's just like the Tampa Bay game down at the goal line. 3 times to Devontae Adams when he had Tanyan and other guys in his play route, but he calls the play for DA. I don't like his play calling. And now, for the last 3 years, we're in the top 10, the top 15 penalized teams in the league. That's discipline. That's not getting these guys and holding them accountable for making boneheaded plays. That's on the coach. And I love Gutekunst for all he's done, he's done. But is he as good as his predecessor in picking offensive linemen? You got a first round and a second round guy. Got Morgan's a fill-in, and the other guy you don't even see. They got a left guard that can't stay healthy. Why aren't these 2 guys starting all the time and using their big bodies and going? It's like, what's going on? I don't care if we're 5-2-1 and in first place. So if they keep playing the way they're playing, they ain't even going to make the playoffs.
Chris, we appreciate the call. I think your frustration is palpable.
And the long wait. Wait.
Yes, and thanks for waking up once we went to you. At least we didn't go to commercial instead. So we got that going for us.
That is a plus.
Which is nice. All right, we got a bunch more calls to get to. One thing that he said, Tausch, that I want to ask you about quickly for your insight, because we were trying to get everybody in. If teams are going to do what Carolina did yesterday, which was different than what the Steelers did. The Steelers said, we're not going to let Josh Jacobs beat us, right? Linchpin was the word that Mike Tomlin used to describe Josh Jacobs. So they were not going to let Josh Jacobs beat him. And congratulations, that worked. He did not beat them on Sunday night a week ago. Instead, Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft did. If teams are going to do this, what do you have to do to be effective offensively? With the 2 safeties back, keep everything in. Joe Barry would have loved the defense yesterday because it worked. But the screens and the checkdowns and all that stuff that Chris is talking about, that is how you have to get down the field. And they had the only drive they had that was not 9 plays or longer was the one where Love threw the pick on a first down play. So what does their game plan have to be in order to beat that type of defense?
You got to be patient, you got to run the football, and you have to clean up the penalties, because what defenses that do what Carolina did yesterday, they think that they can get a lost yardage play in one of those cycles to force you into a 3rd and long, and that's where they can get off the field. And you have to clean up the penalties. The fact that, there was so many holding calls yesterday. I don't know how, at least 3 or 4, at least. And that's what these defenses are designed to do. We're not going to give you the big play, and if you're not patient enough, we'll have an interception sitting in our hands on a fair catch, which is what happened. Yeah. So if I am Philly and I'm Fangio, I'm going to say, do you have patience enough to give Josh Jacobs the ball 25 times? And if you do, can you block Jalen Carter and the other big dude from Georgia and Zach Bond and everybody else consistently enough that you're getting 4 and 5 yards a carry? Because I don't think you can. And if you can't, you're not gonna get big plays. And you heard Jordan Love yesterday talk before the game with Pam Oliver talking about explosives. And so you knew that was their plan. They wanted to have explosives because offensively, it's really hard to go put together 12, 13-yard drives in this league consistently. That's what I'm guessing teams, if I'm playing Green Bay, I'm going to tell you, hey, man, you stick to that run and you don't have any penalties and you're getting 5, 6 yards, good luck. You're going to have some success. That wasn't the case yesterday.
If you were on our social channels, you saw our 3 things to watch. I'm not sure how accurately I portrayed the keys to the game when I delivered those 3 things to watch, but they are presented by Associated Bank, a great partner of Wilde and Tausch from the very beginning. And if you haven't made the switch and you're unhappy with your bank, what are you waiting for? Go to AssociatedBank.com. Find out about their best customer service in the industry. Find out about early pay, about credit monitoring, about fraud protection, about Packers, Badgers, and Brewers checking. Find out about the bank that you belong at. Go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts with more of your calls next, so stick around.
Go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Homer here for Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. This November, you'll save big with 50% off all window styles, plus you could get 0% financing for 5 years. Window Nation's proven quality windows are so good, you'll actually save money on lower utility bills and come with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation even has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't miss out on 50% off and 0 interest for 5 years. Visit windownation.com to get started.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Let's get right to it, the 11 o'clock hour. Back to the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776. You can still send in some texts. Maybe we'll get to them tomorrow. But we got a few more calls to get to, thanks to everyone who's spent much of their morning on hold with us. Let's go to Spencer in Minnesota first, where J.J. McCarthy looks awesome. Good morning, Spencer. How are you?
Fine. He was soft bench. He threw for like 170 yards. He's not awesome. He's whatever. We'll see what he is.
That was a little facetiousness. All right, how you feeling surrounded by all those Vikings fans?
I don't care about them. They're nothing. They're an afterthought. Whatever. They're like every other year. They're good. They're bad. I don't care about them. But I don't know. The Packers yesterday sucked. I've always been a Matt LaFleur apologist. But this game, whatever, and it's just kind of lingered, honestly, since, like, the Bears game just about last year, where it's starting to feel like we're in this relationship with this person that we really like, but we're realizing it's not the one we're going to marry. That's what Matt LaFleur feels like right now. Like, he might not be the guy to bring us all the way there. I mean, just the managing. I mean, you think, just looking back this whole year, we've mismanaged the offensive line, the wide receivers. I mean, just looking at punt returner, too. I don't know why Matthew Golden had his stint as the punt returner there. Cornerbacks, and now kicker even. You can argue that the way LaFleur has managed the kicking position has made McManus a worse kicker. And, you know, we said the same thing about Jordan Morgan to begin the year, too, on the offensive line. The play calling, I mean, remember, I think I've called and said this before. Remember when fans were wanting the Matt LaFleur offense when we had Aaron Rodgers? It seems like the further we've gotten away from Aaron Rodgers, there's less of a cohesive plan, and we look more lost in these big moments. You wonder if LaFleur, one, was able to manage the game a little bit more when Rodgers had more of an influence over play calling. And then on top of that, too, you wonder, you know, I think we all like Jordan Love, but something that LaFleur said is, I'm not going to run plays that my quarterback isn't comfortable with. I wonder if Jordan Love is a guy who would speak up and say, you know, we're running things that he's not comfortable with. I mean, even the Cardinals game, he didn't say anything to LaFleur about going for it on fourth. He gave him a look, right? And along with that, too, you know, just the game plan, and maybe similar things have been said in the past, but especially this year. Steno said he said this a couple times on certain plays or not getting guys on the field or not getting guys the ball enough. We didn't get the look we wanted. Matt LaFleur has said this. This was incredibly damning, I thought. Sometimes the defense dictates what we can do. You're the Green Bay Packers. You're Matt LaFleur. You got Jordan Love. Why is the defense dictating what you're going to do? I understand there's times where you don't want to run into a brick wall. But, I mean, some of the best plays of the year, Tucker Kraft on that fourth down against the Cardinals, he was the third read. And then, like, yesterday, our fourth down call was that post to Watson where they had three guys. Like, what are you looking at on some of the, you know, it's like at times it's like we're overdoing the game plan, too. It almost feels like that started last year when Robert Saleh came in, and now we have Nathaniel Hackett and Luke Getsy. I think they're more involved with the defense, but you do wonder if there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Like, Matt LaFleur's game plan is a Ferrari, you know, and he needs a road. He needs a nice, smooth road, and when that happens, everything looks awesome. But when we got to off-road, that Ferrari doesn't do good and we need a Jeep. And it's just he isn't able to change that way, or he isn't able to just find what our staples are on offense, and he lets the defense dictates what we do. Like Mike McCarthy with his offense at the end there, I think he needed scheme to have the talent play better. And we had guys like EQ, MVS, and Jimmy Graham. And now it's like I feel like we all think our talent is better than the scheme, and the scheme is almost bringing the offense down as a whole. Like Savion Williams, I think he'll be a good player someday too, but I don't think we need to have participation trophies and have him in here on these gadget plays that just haven't really worked. I know he had the touchdown last week, sure, but other than that, it hasn't been great this year. And Jason, one last thing. I don't want to, because I know I'm just a numbskull on the internet here. But if you could work in a question for Matt LaFleur and mention "let it rip," that is what the last time we had a identity on offense was when we went on that run in 2023, starting at Thanksgiving, where LaFleur was talking about letting it rip. And now it feels like Love is timid at times. I think he threw a couple of deep balls up because he wasn't given the opportunity, and it was like a predetermined play beforehand that he could finally go deep. Last thing. If we lose in the first round of the playoffs, I think we should move on from Matt LaFleur. And you talk about Ed Policy making a big move. I know it's dumb. I know it's crazy. But if he is, maybe thinking outside the box, what if we trade away Matt LaFleur to the Tennessee Titans, who have Chad Brinker as their president, who has history with the Packers? Matt LaFleur would be perfect there. They got Cam Ward that he could coach up, and then maybe Halfley sticks on, and then a guy like Mike McDaniels or whatever from the Dolphins comes over as the OC. That's all. Thank you.
Of all the things Spencer said, all I really want from you, Tausch, is a critique of the analogy of a Ferrari and it's smooth on the road, but they need a Jeep when things get rocky. How do you feel about that analogy about Matt LaFleur as a coach?
Well, I'm a Chevy guy, as you know, Zimbrick Chevrolet to be exact. I like it. First off, I love it when people try. I want to hear analogies. I think it's super fun, and it's not always easy to kind of go from point A to point B to point C. But there is something to be said about, do you find the hard road, and are you able to navigate through that? Because it's always easy as a coach and as players when you're just rolling down the Autobahn and you don't have any cops and there's no cars and you just can go. That's easy. It is when you have a half of the road is out and you got to take a right and you got to climb a mountain, you got to go through trees and you got to navigate through, and then your tire blows out, a.k.a. your tight end. And what are you going to do now? Well, you're going to go get a replacement tire, or are you going to say to hell with it, we're going to get a different car? What is that road going to look like, and how do you get back on the Autobahn? Because yesterday that road was like, what's the movie with Sandra Bullock?
Speed?
There's roads that were not finished. Speed. There's bridges, and you're like, I ain't going to make that. Are you going to be able to jump it? I don't know. Well, yesterday we jumped, and we fell, and we crashed. So now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
We'll find out. We got the trade deadline. You got a lot of variables that you still have to navigate through. But yesterday was it just was not a good day for Matt LaFleur, and that's why we're hearing as much from fans about some of his shortcomings throughout his career, and especially yesterday, that are making Packer fans wonder if he is the guy moving forward to lead this team to a championship, because this is a huge year for him. If this team does fall short, I do wonder where Ed Policy's thoughts are about how this is going to shake out moving forward. And I wonder how Goody feels. I think Goody, when he made that whole urgency bit, that wasn't just directed at players. I think that was directed at everybody, including himself. He went out and used took a while, but I don't think anybody's saying he didn't. Don't shake your head. It's true. You can't say Goody wasn't urgent about how he approached it.
I don't think that I just don't. And you pointed it out earlier. You need to tell us about Hard Rock Casino, where Jesse will be driving Barry Alvarez, driving Mr. Daisy to tonight. But let's not. I understand that I am painted on this program as the Goody hater, and you're the Goody stan. But the 2 free agent pickups have not worked out.
I said that.
You did. I know. I'm citing you from earlier in the show. But let's make sure that we understand that there are things that he has done, including if the centerpiece of his plan for the offensive line was to move your Pro Bowl guard to center so you could sign Aaron Banks instead of leaving your Pro Bowl guard where he was and sign someone else's center, that is a mistake too. So let's not put it all at Matt LaFleur's feet. But again, I think there's plenty of blame to go around. Matt LaFleur deserves more of it than Goody. I don't disagree with that. But let's not let Goody off scot-free and say, oh, well, he deserves a 5-year contract extension and get Matt LaFleur out of here. Tausch, tell us about Hard Rock Casino.
I'll say this. I will. There is nobody that's going to look at those 2 rosters yesterday and say Green Bay's roster is worse than Carolina's.
I would agree.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Okay. And I can't wait to hear about the big night out for Jesse and the boys from the Barry Alvarez show. Don't know how that's going to shake itself out. If Engs is going to sit behind Jesse, if Barry is going to make Tark put his seat way up so that he can kick his feet. But I do know this. They only got a 60-minute drive down to the Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book, and a rock shop, and, oh, baby, the High Limit Room. Right now you deliver premium table games, playing tailored for discerning players with enhanced game rules, including blackjack, where the dealer stands on soft 17. That's a big advantage for us players. You will enjoy better odds, faster play, and the kind of authentic high-limit action that sets Hard Rock Casino Rockford apart. Pretty sure Jess will be down there playing in that high-limit room with Coach A and everybody else down at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Your next hand could be your best yet. Visit the high-limit room at Hard Rock Casino Rockford and rediscover your game on your terms, in your rhythm, and with your edge. Jesse Nelson.
I'd like to thank those who on the text line the other day when I brought this up sent links to craps simulators. I did practice over the weekend, and I am prepared to play shoulder to shoulder next to Coach Alvarez tonight at Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
Quick question. Are you just going to play the point shaken, or are you going to go 6-8? What are you thinking about doing tonight?
The pass line seems to be where I'll be most comfortable. I'll play the pass line to start, and then 6-8 seems good. I wish there was a 6-7 option, but 6-8's not bad.
You don't want 7.
7's bad.
Out.
7's bad.
Done.
Okay. We have 5 calls to get to. We've got 35 minutes and at least 2 commercial breaks left.
Never a doubt.
Well, let's go.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Are you looking for a way to make an impact this holiday season? Donate to Life Navigators Soap Suds Drive. It's simple. Your donation of body wash, hand soap, lotion, or laundry pods will help local kids and adults with disabilities stay safe, happy, and healthy all year. Please consider donating this holiday season to the Life Navigators Soap Suds Drive. Learn more on how you can donate at lifenavigators.org. Life Navigators has been your disability partner for 75 years. Learn more at lifenavigators.org.
Ready to watch the Packers like a VIP? Cousins Subs put you in the center of it all on the 50-yard line in plush recliner seats, complete with personal TVs and your favorites delivered from Cousins Subs. 2 pairs of fans are selected before each regular season home game to enjoy this one-of-a-kind experience. Enter daily to win the best seats in the house, only from Cousins Subs. Cousins Subs. We believe in better. See rules and eligibility for details.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right, and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and when it comes to my home, I want a team that I can trust, and that's Lifetime Home Services. From cleaner air and radon safety to custom closets and electrical work, they do it all under one roof. What I'm most excited about right now is their epoxy floors. They make your garage clean, durable, and organized, with shelving and storage to get everything off the floor. For over 30 years, families have trusted Lifetime Home Services to make their homes safer and better looking. Trusted solution, lifetime results. Schedule today at lifetimehomeservices.com.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Back to the Carbless Talk and text line we go. And out to Los Angeles, home of the back-to-back World Series champs. Don't get Jesse started telling us how it was all over once they got Shohei Ohtani. Let's go to Alan in L.A. Alan, good morning. Thanks for holding on. What do you got?
Well, Tucker Kraft's injury just broke my heart. It just broke my heart. But having a little time to process it, I think it provides an acute leadership test for the entire organization, Goody, the players, LaFleur, the coaches, everyone, on how they can recover from this and try to prosper. And what's interesting is, as you know, I'm also a Charger fan, been so for years when I lived in San Diego, have season tickets. And it's really interesting to compare the travails or the challenges the Packers have faced with what the Chargers and Harbaugh and his people have been dealing with. I mean, they have had like 10 different players on the offensive line. They signed Slater to this gigantic contract, then lost him for the season. They've lost Alt. They've had guys who are like fifth string that aren't even in the year, and yet, and their quarterback is leading the league in sacks. But they're 6-3 because, with the exception of one game, they have been competitive in every game. And when I look at the Packers, and I know, we shouldn't panic, and if they manage to beat the Eagles, we'll all be back on the bandwagon. But when I look at the Packers, the offensive line is a mess. The experiment with Jenkins, I think it's fair to say, is not working at all. And, LaFleur, the 4th and 8th decision, I mean, that's high school stuff. And I noticed right after the game when they asked Jordan Love about it, he quickly said, well, that was Matt's decision.
He did.
So
I noticed that too.
Jordan, and if you have Jordan making a bonehead decision on first down, throwing a ball into triple coverage into the wind where it gets intercepted, and then he says, well, it was just as good as a punt. Well, no, it wasn't, because you don't punt on first down.
Correct.
But how is Matt LaFleur going to rein in Jordan and say, Jordan, you shouldn't make those decisions, when he's making decisions like that, bonehead call on 4th and 8 at the 23-yard line? And when I listened to the offensive coach say in an interview last week, well, we're having a problem because our guys on the offensive line aren't blocking the right people on run plays. Well, it ain't September. It's November. I won't use any bad words, but my reaction to that is WTF.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are we doing? And so should LaFleur be fired and all that? Well, no, you don't want to fire a coach in the season. But is this the guy to take us to the Super Bowl? And I have to say, I don't think so, because
you're not alone in that opinion. But I am very curious to see if they, and thanks for the call, Alan, and great points, especially about the Chargers. I am very curious to see if they somehow rise up, and you said razor's edge or whatever it was, they play with an edge next week, and they win at
Occam's
home.
razor.
Occam's razor, yeah, he's one of my favorites. If they are able to do that on Monday night, then it changes the conversation, obviously, then the next morning on our show. And suddenly now, what a great job Matt LaFleur did of putting together a game plan to beat the defending champs.
Woof, woof. Yes, no doubt about it. That's the beauty of this league, and this is every week stands on its own. And this week is going to be it's not going to be a great week until about Wednesday or Thursday. When you play, you kind of know this cycle. It's rehash the game. Tuesday's kind of a big picture rehash, and then you start looking at what's next. And for a Monday night game, it's going to be a long week for these guys. They'll probably get an extra day off. You get another day to kind of go through your red zone. And I think that's the other thing that you look at. Right now, this team's red zone efficiency, at least through yesterday. I don't know
it
what
was
their
good.
season
It was
stats
actually
are.
really good until yesterday. And then it was terrible.
Yeah, yesterday stunk. Yesterday was and that's what gets you beat. So understanding all of that, that's why I'm just not. I've been around long enough, and I've seen enough seasons, both playing and watching, that yes, I understand fans' frustrations, but I also know that there's peaks and valleys to this thing. This is yesterday with the Tucker news and this.
It's a
this
gorge.
is a deep valley, a big gorge. But the beautiful part is you build zip lines. There's ways to get out of gorges. And this is not like a death blow. This isn't where we all collapsed. That has not happened. And there's frustration. There's all of the angst. But you have another opportunity. And Jason is 100% correct. There's a good chance next Monday at about 11:30 at night, Homer and I will be dialing up a post-game show after a big win against the Philadelphia Eagles, and you're going to say we are back to being it's us and the Rams as far as the big dogs in the NFC. That is more likely to happen than not. I'm guessing we're going to be favored. But for this and what we did yesterday, all of this criticism is well-earned because they lost the game they had no business losing to a team that is not as talented and as good at home. And that's what happens. Those are the ramifications of it. Matt LaFleur knows it. He knows it's coming, and the great ones weather it and don't let it bother them, and they say, come Tuesday, this is going to be, we're on to Philly. That's the Belichickian way. It's over. We lost. Now we move it along.
Core values are an important piece of any successful business, and Lakeland Supply is no different. They've been displaying their core values in the industrial supply space for more than 40 years. Integrity, excellence, stewardship, partnership, and faith. They're ISO certified, a Future 50 winner, top rated in customer satisfaction, and they believe in giving back to the community. Lakeland isn't one of those catalog companies either. They believe in making sure that they are your packaging and supply expert and that they're building plans around what you want. Lakeland Supply is in business to make your business better. So set up a free packaging and supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com. Mike, Jake, Jamon, and Terrell. 4 calls, 22 minutes. Next.
Done.
It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Time out on the field. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, a whole house of new windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 6 years.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no extra interest.
And unlike opponents, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin actually stops the drafts.
Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 11/30/2025.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Q Myers.
The Dolphins look like they're just kind of all over the place. They're searching for answers still. I don't think that there's a world where Tua Tagovailoa should be throwing the ball 40 times. When you're down a lot, that's what you're going to do, right? You're going to have to throw the ball around the yard. He had 1 interception. He got sacked a couple times. No big-time performances. And, again, they just made so many mistakes. That was, to me, the biggest issue is just self-inflicted wounds. It's one thing, you get called for a holding or you get called for even, maybe a personal foul. Maybe you're blocking too much or or something happens. I get effort penalties. Those are going to happen. But when it's 4th and 1, you're right there in the shadow of the goal line. If you pick up this first down, you have a great chance to get into the end zone, score a touchdown, and you have a false start. And then you have to settle for a field goal. And, oh, by the way, you missed a field goal. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing snowballs into another thing, snowballs into 4 things. Like, it's just what bad teams do.
Hey, it's Reese Davis. Let's be honest, we can't keep an eye on everything unless you've got Blink Outdoor 4 cameras. While you're focused on the game, Blink's keeping an eye on your home.
With up to 2-year battery life and with Sync Module XR, you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no worries. Blink helps keep an eye on what matters most. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9.
Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
$17 minutes, one more commercial break, 4 calls. Let's get going on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Mike in Cedarburg. Good morning. What do you got?
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I guess you're always asking positives and negatives. Maybe this will be an incentive for Musgrave to get going as a tight end and show what he was drafted for, and maybe he'll step right in and take Tucker Kraft's place. I doubt he'll be that successful, but maybe he'll have some level of success. So that's my only positive. Negatives is I went into halftime yesterday thinking, okay, they're going to be done screwing around with these guys. They're going to come up with a plan for the second half, which is what really good coaches do. And the second half was coached more like Mike McCarthy than Bill Belichick. I mean, Belichick figures stuff out and he changes and makes adjustments, and LaFleur didn't. LaFleur occasionally have a great game, like against Detroit. Had a great game. That was their Super Bowl for the year, the Packers. I mean, you look at their record, who have they really beaten? I mean, the Commanders are supposed to be so good. Have they really beaten any really good teams, and have they blown anybody out? I don't think so.
No, and to your point, and this is the conversation that Tausch and I feel like we've been having for a long time. Tausch brings it up all the time, but how many complete games have they played? And again, someone brought up, we were having this conversation yesterday in the press box, somebody brought up the New Orleans game. I still don't feel that way. I didn't think they played very well. They just played a really bad team last year. The last time they put it all together in a single game was the playoff game in Dallas. And the defense gave up some plays late that made the score look closer than it was. But it was like 42-17. That game was over. And so I just don't – that's what you strive for. It's hard to accomplish. They did not come anywhere close to playing a complete game yesterday. They were basically problematic in every phase. Let's get another call in, 844-770-3776. Send those texts in so we can get to them tomorrow on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Let's go to Jake in Cincinnati, the Queen City. How you doing, Jake?
Good. How are you guys? Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Thanks for holding on. What do you got?
Well, at least we don't have the defense that Cincinnati has. I watched that game last night. It was pretty bad.
That is that is the positive of the day right there.
Exactly. Hey, so honestly, I wasn't upset about this loss as I probably thought I would have been. I think I was more upset about the Dallas tie because I think we, all would agree that Dallas, we definitely should have beaten Dallas in that game. But I don't disagree with a lot of people's thoughts. And definitely, what you guys were saying. And there's a gentleman earlier that, had talked about how we should, pump the brakes on LaFleur's firing. And I kind of agree more with his lining than anybody else's. Because at the end of the day, Ed Polish is going to make that decision about Matt LaFleur, whether he's going to fire him or not, or extend him or anything like that. But I would kind of look at it this way, kind of like a devil's advocate point of view. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, which is okay. But, LaFleur's decisions that we've talked about that, he's been criticized this season on the pass play against Cleveland that Jordan Love had the interception, the play calling that final drive against Dallas, and then the fourth and 8 against Carolina. Mm-hmm. Despite those play calls, those decisions, Green Bay still had a chance. They were in a position to win or at least take the lead late in those games. And like Jason, I think you had talked about this earlier. There is some lack of execution in some of those games where we've seen lack of execution from the players and throughout the season. And I think that's kind of what it comes down to. I mean, we had a chance to take the lead late against Cleveland. There was a pump block. I think Dobbs on the screen pass to Williams, which I don't like those plays either. he failed there. He didn't execute, and Jordan didn't execute down the stretch, and we had to settle for a tie. And then in Cleveland against Carolina, 4th and 8. I actually, at the moment, didn't hate that play call. But, we eventually tied the game. And with 2:32 left with the defense on the field, I think we all felt really good that the defense was going to make a stop and get the ball back for the offense, and that didn't happen. The defense that we've crowned early in the season. So, obviously, fans haven't clicked consistently, and that's what the guys have all said. And I liked everybody's response after the game that, we just got to get back into it. We just have to get back on the practice field, get back in the field room. But, they didn't go out there and say something that all of us fans wanted us to hear. They said pretty much what was true, which I think LaFleur said, it wasn't sexy to say this, but we just got to get back out there. I would leave it at this. This isn't the first time we haven't seen this for Packer teams. Remember 2009, we were 4-4, and we lost to a winless Tampa Bay team. Made the run and made the playoffs. In 2010, we were 3-3 after back-to-back overtime losses and field goals against Washington and Miami. And like that one caller was saying earlier, against Rodgers wasn't lighting up the world. We won the Super Bowl. But then on the flip side, we're the number 1 seed in 2011, 2020, 2021. That was a calling in 2020 and 21 that we need to be the number 1 seed. We'll see what happens. Well, we know what happened. We didn't make the Super Bowl.
It's true.
So,
yeah.
I don't disagree that LaFleur has his shortcomings, and we'll see how that plays out the rest of the season. And the team has to kind of maybe overcome those shortcomings. But I, as a fan, would rather be disappointed now than later at the end of the season when we know what we have out on Matt LaFleur and what we don't have out on Matt LaFleur. So,
my concern, Jake, and thanks for the call, is that you're going to be disappointed in both. You're going to be disappointed now, and you're going to be disappointed later as well. Look, the season's not over. But I am very curious to see what this offense looks like without Tucker Kraft, because you're coming off a game.
If Tucker Kraft was still healthy, I would not have changed it. This
Correct.
is just a loss.
Agreed.
That loss is.
That's my point.
It's just a gut punch, no doubt.
Yep. Let's get to one more call here, and then we'll get to Terrell to close out the show. Let's go to Jamon in Dallas. Jamon, good morning. Thanks for holding on, buddy.
How you guys doing?
We're good. A little pressed for time. What do you got?
Okay, let's get to the story. A lot of people talking about Matt. He had a few questionable calls, but I think the guys on the field had to start pointing the fingers at themselves. Jordan Love, it seems like every play he has, everything has to be 15 yards downfield, which is not understandable. Once things started clicking, when Jordan Love is getting the ball out of his hand quick, that's when the offense is really clicking. We had a drive where it was happening, and it's like we just ran away from it. I'm not sure if it's a Chris Clemens thing or what, but the deep ball from Jordan Love, it has to go. He has to learn how to read better defenses. Another thing, I'm not sure if the plan was to even go in that game and to throw the ball. I think Matt LaFleur wanted to see how good his run game could be on a team that you should dominate and win. Mm-hmm. And it just showed us yesterday that our run game is not what we expect it to be at all. Like, Josh Jacobs couldn't do anything. Emmanuel couldn't do anything. So we was forced to have Jordan Love to throw the ball. And by the time Matt LaFleur made those changes, the game was getting away from us. So don't really have any positives. Only thing I have to say is, you just got to get ready for next week.
That's true. That's all they can do. But again, I think to Jamon's point there, I disagree with him on the run game. I thought
agree.
It was better.
I was
say the same thing.
Josh Jacobs didn't get enough touches, in my opinion. There's things you can agree and disagree about, but it was a bad loss. It doesn't mean the season's over. Tucker Kraft's injury's gut punch. Those are my quick summary points.
That's a great summary of the way things played out yesterday. We need to wrap up the show. We will do it with Terrell, who waited on hold for, I swear to, 3 hours. No pressure. You're next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey, y'all. It's the Rocket Roger Clemens here. Spent a lot of time pitching heat. Years later, the pain in my joints remind me of those days, but I'm not looking to sit still, and I definitely am not interested in going under the knife. That's why I chose QC Kinetics.
Not just for elite retired athletes. QC Kinetics gives everyday folks joint pain relief using regenerative treatments that work with your body to help repair joint damage.
No surgery, no long recovery, whether it's your knees, hips, shoulders, or back. My friends at QC Kinetics will help you get moving again so you can get back to doing the things you love.
QC Kinetics medical professionals will look at your x-rays or MRI to determine if you're a good candidate.
I trusted QC Kinetics to help me feel like myself again, and I'm proud to recommend them to you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week honors go to Homestead Junior quarterback Lee Zortman, who led the Highlanders to a thrilling 27-20 win over West Bend West to clinch the North Shore Conference title. Zortman rushed 13 times for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 54-yard sprint to the end zone early in the first quarter, but his biggest moment came late, engineering a 10-play, 54-yard drive and finishing it himself with a 1-yard game-winning score with just 1 minute and 38 seconds remaining. With the win, Homestead maintained a perfect 9-0 overall record and a 7-0 conference record. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Homestead High School's Lee Zortman.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and football season is here. Are you ready to make money betting on sports? Are you ready to make a winning decision? Are you going to gamble for fun, or are you going to gamble for money? This year, make that decision that will build your bankroll all year long. Go to FatJackSports.com, and for less than $100 a week, make money betting on the games. That's FatJackSports.com. It's a personal portal. It comes to your email. It's hassle-free. It'll make you money. FatJackSports.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We have 90 seconds for Terrell on the north side. Terrell, you've been loyal so many years. Sorry to short shrift you, but you get the final word. What do you got?
Okay, how you guys doing? I could talk about Matt LaFleur and his situational football. I could talk about him and his undisciplined teams, and I could talk about him with his stubbornness with his offense. But I refuse to be negative today. I'm going to be positive. So I think there's a bold move that needs to be made either on Gutekunst's side or on Matt LaFleur's side, and I believe that's with Zach Tom moving to center. I think Elgton Jenkins needs to go back to playing right tackle like he did before in previous years, or move him back to guard, whatever you want to do. But he can't be trusted in the middle of that offense. And if you can't stop stop rushers from coming in there, Jordan Love's not going to have a chance in the world going forward this season. So I'm putting Zach Tom, which they paid him a lot of money, so it shouldn't be a problem. He's going to be my center because I trust him more than Elgton Jenkins right now. That's the first thing. Second thing, Tucker Kraft injury sucks. He's probably our biggest playmaker, our biggest wild card. So the strength of the offense right now is in Jordan Love and the receivers, because the offensive line is not a power running football blocking team, which is Josh Jacobs' specialty. And that's why we've been seeing Emmanuel Wilson run better, because he's doing more zone read, and the runs have been looking more fluid because they're not a power running football blocking team. So I would change the offense. I would go to a more pass-happy offense. I would use Josh Jacobs because he's the caliber player he is, and Emmanuel Wilson. But I think those are the two biggest things that they need to do going forward with the loss of Tucker Kraft.
Terrell, we appreciate the call.
Bringing it.
We're out of time. I don't know how positive that was, but be that as it may, it is where we must leave the program. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family-owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Love, Jacobs, McKinney, Golden, and now Micah Parsons? This year's gonna be fun. Now's the time to set a game plan for your Green Bay and Wisconsin pigskin parties. This is Marie from Discount Liquor. We are your football party beverage headquarters. Whether you need an ice cold keg, a bottle of your favorite wine, a unique craft brew, or hard to find liquor, we have everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Maine in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store again.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
Wherever you're tailgating, we'll get you all set up with your favorite beverages. We're open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. See all of our weekly specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
ESPN. And then there's Disney Plus, as I mentioned. There's also ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance, Sirius XM Channel 80. We say hello to all those who listen to us through podcast form. We appreciate that. We appreciate the subscription if you are a subscriber especially. We also appreciate anybody who takes in the Overreaction Monday podcast that Chris Brockman and I recorded before today's Rich Eisen show. The No Contest Wrestling podcast records later on today, which means O'Shea Jackson Jr. will show up crowing like he actually cares about baseball. That'll be later on in hour number 3.
You have no idea. He's been texting me.
No, I know. He sent out videos
cancel
and all
his
that,
key card.
all that sort of stuff. No,
He has
he
a
can't.
key card?
Well, he talks about his hostile work environment. We don't want to.
He claimed he was going to come here at 9 and sit in for the whole show. I knew that wasn't.
We don't want to get him upset. Thank you so much. 844-204-RICH number to dial. If you're on hold, please stay on hold. We're going to promise you we take all your phone calls. We don't have any guests today. We just want to talk sports.
Let's do it.
With you and amongst all of us. And one of the reasons why we keep our Monday slate clean in many ways of guests is, well, Nobody wants to talk to us. But other than that, it's because it's because there's so much to talk about, and I kind of like the real estate to explore all of it, and certainly the World Series suffices as one of those. Christopher, when we previously on the Rich Eisen show, what's more likely Friday subject matter, one of the things you threw at me prior to the weekend was, what's more likely there'll be a Game 7 in the World Series or a 1-7 team in the NFL will beat a Los Angeles team?
Yes, sir.
I chose Game 7 of the World Series. Almost turned out to be both with the plucky Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, so close.
Scoring on special teams and on defense on the Chargers early on in that game. But the Chargers pulled it out. But the reason why I thought there would be a Game 7 is because who the Dodgers were throwing in Game 6. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who had thrown complete games in his previous 2 playoff outings. And sure enough, Yamamoto showed up in Toronto in Game 6. Dominant. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 96 pitches, 63 of them for strikes. And sure enough, the offense and the runs sufficient enough for Yamamoto to hand the lead off to his bullpen were provided by a guy who was so down and out. He was just so honest about his struggles. And it was Mookie Betts. Sure enough, this is how good he is, and also how good Dave Roberts is the manager of the Dodgers. He's so good, he's hitting 130, and he gets dropped from 2 to 3 in the order. And then for Game 6, he gets dropped to 4th in the order. How about Dave Roberts saying, this guy can't hit a lick right now, and he's down on himself, but I'm going to hit him cleanup. I'm going to have him protect Freddie Freeman in the lineup. And sure enough, who steps to the plate in the 3rd inning with runners in scoring position with a base hit? Mookie Betts, his first RBIs at all since Game 2 of the NLCS. Span of 8 games. And this Game 6 was kind of feeling unlike the previous Wild games. It's, Yamamoto's getting the people up and getting down in order. And this game's 3-1 after the Blue Jays got 1 run in response to the 3 spot for the Dodgers. And it's 3-1 going into the, later stages of the game. And Roki Sasaki gave us a little bit of a pulse check in the 8th inning, 2 on, 1 out, got out of that. This game's not going to be like any of those other crazy games, is it, until the 9th inning? Oh, my goodness gracious. So Sasaki hits Alejandro Kirk to start the 9th right on his hand, and sure enough, John Schneider does what he has to do because Kirk's not going to be able to score on anything in the gap, right? So he puts in Miles Straw, who runs like Xavier Worthy at the combine. And sure enough, Addison Barger hits one to the gap. And I've never seen this before. The ball hits like a highlight chulo right in the crease where the...
Oh, look at that photo.
Padding of the wall meets the warning track. And Justin Dean, who just got substituted into center field for Tommy Edman by Dave Roberts, raises his arms up, saying, this is a dead ball.
It's like Little League.
And Straw, who's inserted to score on exactly the ball Barger hits, can't score because it's a ground rule double. Now, there's a lot of arguments about whether this should have been too bad, Dodgers. You could still pluck the ball out of the wall, whether the rule book says it's a ground rule double only if it's not playable, like, say, in the vines of Wrigley Field.
The ivy, yeah.
Lots of pissed off Blue Jay fans that the rule was not applied appropriately, that there have been previous inside the park home runs by somebody as slow as Prince Fielder. If you look it up, he once had an inside the park home run on exactly a play like this, and he makes Alejandro Kirk look like Ricky Henderson.
Oh, hey, no. Come on.
But sure enough, it's a ground rule double. Straw doesn't score. Barger's on second. And that's when Dave Roberts says, I'm going to go to my Game 3 starter now. Even though we're wondering if he's going to start Game 7. If there is one, screw it. There is no tomorrow for us. I'm going to bring in Tyler Glasnow. And I'm going to have him face Ernie Clement, who is hitting like Mickey Mantle on top of Stan Musial in these playoffs. And Clement takes the first pitch and pops it up.
Oh, yep.
Nobody advances. I keep saying how the Blue Jays are the kings of the productive outs. Here's an unproductive out just when the Dodgers need it. And then here comes Jimenez, who is maybe the best ninth place hitter I've ever seen with runners in scoring position in my entire life. And there's two of them right there. And the Blue Jays need them both to score on a 2-out hit. And Glasnow gets him to lace one to left field on a broken bat that looks like this is now a tie game. But here comes Kike Hernandez in to throw a dart to second base. And a guy who Dave Roberts puts into the lineup for Game 6 just because he thinks he's bringing some juice. And Miguel Rojas, who makes an incredible pick of a ball that was dirted right in front of him to stay on second base and get that run-of-the-mill World Series Game 7 forcing 7-4 double play. I've never seen that. Unbelievable.
What was Barger doing?
Thinking that was a base hit off the bat. So lots of ifs and buts and candies and nuts brings about the Game 7. Oh, my goodness. So Max Scherzer, future first ballot Hall of Famer, starting for the Blue Jays, and it's Ohtani starting for the Dodgers. An interesting choice that I think had to be brought about because the Game 3 starter saved Game 6. But that doesn't preclude him from Game 7. Oh, not by a long shot. And Ohtani starts Game 7 against Max Scherzer, which will be something, in Cooperstown lore. Who started Game 7 of one of the most incredible World Series ever? Shohei Ohtani versus Max Scherzer. Unbelievable set of circumstances. And the Blue Jays send Bo Bichette to the plate with 2 on in the third inning against Ohtani. And Bichette hits a no doubt about her. Straight out of the building. And it's 3-0 Blue Jays. And when you hit 3-run home runs, you usually win baseball games. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, the party can start now, except for the fact that, well, that's the Los Angeles Dodgers out there with stars all over the place and guys who aren't stars who can really play baseball, and a manager who has got a magic touch. Oh, and Magic is in the building and owns the team as well. So, listen.
But it did feel like the route is on.
Especially when, in the next half inning, in the fourth inning, top of the fourth, Will Smith leads off with a double. Freeman with a base hit. Runners on the corners after a Betts out. A 1-out walk worked by Max Muncy. Bases loaded against Max Scherzer, and who comes up but former Blue Jay Teoscar Hernandez, who sends a screaming liner to center, and Dalton Varsho makes a gorgeous catch. If he doesn't make the catch, we have a tie ball game. Yep. Instead, this means just one run comes in, and that's all the Dodgers got. And I'm thinking, okay, this may just be the Blue Jays' night. What a catch that was. And just when you thought, okay, that's kind of crazy, we're settling in, Jimenez steps to the plate, and was it Robleski was on the mound, right? Mm-hmm. He clearly tries to get hit by the pitch.
He threw his arm at it.
And then the next pitch, Robolewski just hits him with it. And Jimenez he gets so mad. He gets upset. Like we're putting people on base just to prove a point. In a 2-run game in the World Series Game 7, Robolewski basically tells him all sorts of things he can do to himself and his mother.
Grandkids.
And benches are clearing. We're playing the feud. And people are running out from the bullpen. Oh, I'm coming in. Hold on a minute. I'm making my way. Clayton Kershaw and his dad bot. I'm almost there. Hold on a minute. Hold on a second. What the hell's going on in the World Series Game 7?
That was crazy.
Playing the feud.
I loved it.
I got the blood flowing.
It was exciting.
It did. Whoa.
Another thing I haven't seen before in a World Series, right? So then, just when we're seeing, hey, we're within reach of a World Series for the Blue Jays, right? And John Schneider, looks across the dugout to Dave Roberts. They too can play at the game of putting someone from previous starting positions into baseball games to do things out of the bullpen. In comes Trey Savage in the 7th inning, walks Ohtani, then gets out of it with a double play grounder to end it. And in the 8th inning, here's Savage. And just when you're thinking, Dodger fans are sitting there thinking, there's 6 outs to go. Max Muncy hits one to Quebec.
Missile.
In the 7th, it's now a 4-3 game. And we go to the 9th. And this is why you watch baseball. Guys you've never heard of unless you pay strict attention. Stroll to the plate. And with Ohtani on deck and 1 out, and the Blue Jays 2 outs away, and it's a 3-2 pitch, and you hear John Smoltz tell Joe Davis and the rest of all of us listening, this needs to be an action pitch. What I mean by that is it can't be so far out that Rojas doesn't offer at it, and you put Ohtani up to the plate as the go-ahead run. He's got to swing at it. It's got to be close enough that he swings at it. And it is a spinner that's right down Broadway, and Miguel Rojas takes it out of the yard.
Unreal.
With basically one hand. And Joe Davis had the only reaction you can have while you're working clean, which is, no way. He said that. By the way, Joe, you could say that about every single at-bat of this World Series.
His wife was telling him that he was going to hit a home run, and he wasn't even playing when she was saying this.
Listen to your better half.
I guess so.
Ties the game. Miguel Rojas, what's he doing in the World Series? Just to ask. Well, the reason why he's in the World Series is because Andy Paez couldn't hit. Mm-hmm. He couldn't hit. But that doesn't mean he can't play.
Yeah, Andy was being saved for something.
Because bottom of the 9th.
Yep.
This was so insane.
Wait a second.
Blake Snell, your game 1 and 5 starter, comes out of the pen. And this is the guy you're going to say, get us to extras. Because if you get us to extras, you can keep pitching, right? That's in theory. And sure enough, Andy Paez comes running out of the dugout to